Ladies and gentlemen, we got one of the funniest people. There are very few people in the world, comic-wise, who can do what this gentleman can do. Maybe 20 people in the world, I'd say. Greg Fitzsimmons is one of those people.
The legend.
Well, you've been doing stand-up for 25 years.
25
years. You used to room with Joe Rogan when you guys were 20.
When we started, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
in Boston, right?
Yeah, we started doing stand-up. First 4 years, we were inseparable
Was
doing
he
stand-up.
was he as intense as he?
Way more intense.
He
He was
right?
more
I always
intense
say
back
that.
then.
Well, you know what it was? Is right now he's got a very focused insanity.
Yes.
And back then he was more like he could fly off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was
Punch in the face, play pool all day.
He hit me in the head once with a Ben & Jerry's Peace Pop.
Why?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Why?
I took a bite out of it and I put it back into the package. And
Damn, and he wasn't having it?
He was not happy about it.
That's hilarious.
So you guys were partners in crime.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that guy blow headliners off the stage when he'd been doing it for a year. It was
Killer,
like
right?
he just was like had this energy. He stalked the stage, and there was a lot of Kinnison in him. There was a lot of just like attack, and like the Boston headliners. Some of them were kind of esoteric.
Yeah.
And they'd go up after him, and the crowd was wiping tears, and then they'd come up and be doing clever political stuff.
Yeah, because Rogan was just blue collar, dick jokes and
Yeah.
fucking pussy this and just he
Right.
was so filthy when he was younger.
Was he?
But he put out power. Remember that tiger bit he used to do?
Yeah,
where
fucking
he
him.
wants to be a tiger and how tigers fuck.
Yeah.
Holy mother of God. He's
Funny.
very athletic. Like he's so
Yeah.
bendy and stuff, and he
Yeah.
does this weird. Dude, it used to. I've actually probably never seen a bit destroy that hard.
Yeah.
Were you guys both single in Boston, you and Rogan, together?
I was single for a minute, and then he was actually when we were roommates. He was dating my roommate, so we slept there every night for a year.
That's kind of cool.
Oh.
So she was this kind of cool chick from Staten Island with big hair,
Yeah.
and
thought
I
you were gonna
remember
say
one
something
night.
And he was kind of a guy with big hair back then.
Yeah,
Did he have a lot of hair back then?
Well, back then he had some hair.
he had some hair, and I remember one night I was home alone, and those guys were out. And I rented I swear to Christ, this is a true story. I rented Batman, and I was sitting home alone
Michael
watching
Keaton
it.
Batman?
Michael Keaton
Oof,
Batman.
love that movie.
And then all of a sudden, there's a shadow in the room flapping around, and a fucking bat had flown. And we had like this barn near our house, and a bat was flying to my house while Batman was on.
Holy shit.
And I'm a pussy, so I put on a baseball cap backwards.
Thinking
I've got
it was
on
gonna get in your hair?
sunglasses. Yeah. And I didn't have a lot of hair. I don't like he was gonna find my 1 inch of hair and get in it. And
Such
so
a myth.
I think so. I had a tennis racket and sunglasses to bat on, and I'm like running around with two hands on the racket, chasing the fuck. And Rogan walks in, and he looks at me and he goes, "What the fuck you doing?" I go, "There's a bat in here." He grabs the racket out of my hand, he walks up to the bat, and he fucking swats it out of midair. And it's just laying there in its last
Kills the shit out of it.
gasp of death. He's like, "Clean that shit up."
Jesus, man.
That-
Surprising Ozzy Osbourne didn't bite his head off.
Yeah,
or
if
something.
if the chips are down, that guy will dig deep. He'll kill a dog with his bare hands. That fucking guy. I remember one time his girlfriend. This is before she became his wife. There was a big dog, like it was like a German Shepherd Rottweiler mixed, like literally with this big tail that curled up, and it was going oh,
It had a curly
oh,
tail?
oh, and I was like, damn. And his girl goes, I don't want. And
What,
he
on the
goes-
street
he goes,
this was?
Right on the street. And Joe goes, he's just trying to assert his dominance. I'll walk you around. And just takes her and walks her right around, right in front of the dog, walks past the dog. He goes, yeah. And then puts her in the truck.
Is the
like,
dog in a fence?
No, the
Oh, he's
dog was
wild.
out. And the dog was big. And the dog was clearly
No
being
shit.
aggressive.
And did nothing.
My money might be on Rogan, though, because he's got that ball of hate, that little
That ball of
that basketball of hate that lives in his chest, like
Yeah.
that childhood like angst that if you fuck with him, that dog is gonna take a beating.
Right.
You know, Greg, for me, a lot of comedians I meet, they always come from, besides Callen, most of them come from like a rough beginning. Like they get funny for a reason.
Dark.
Dark. A lot of them are dark. You don't seem like
Yeah.
a dark guy.
No, I'm quite dark, my friend. yeah.
Oh yes, he is.
No.
No,
You're wrong.
I'm quite dark.
Greg, the
Yeah.
dark.
No, my family is rife with abuse, physical abuse, alcoholism, fucking depression. I'm medicated for depression.
Okay,
I,
well, this really escalated.
I still get into fights. I get into fist fights at this
No.
point. I swear I'm 49 years old.
Over what, man? Why are you
Um,
fighting?
I got the last fight I got in was about a year ago, and
How about this?
I was going to my I have a show on Sirius on Howard Stern's channel, and I showed up to the studio, and the guy that owns the studio was standing in a parking spot, and I was trying to park in it, and he was giving me a shitty look, and then he moved out of the way, and I got in, and he goes, "You're not supposed to be parking there." Been doing the show for 7 years. I've always parked.
That's your
It was just
spot.
this stupid fucking thing. So I parked there, and I walk into the studio. My show's I'm like Callen. I show up 30 seconds before the show goes live on the air. And I'm walking in, and he's like, "You're not so." And I'm just ignoring him. I'm going to do my show. And then finally he goes, "Fuck you." And that to me is like, I don't know if my father used to beat me with a sign that said "fuck you" or something, but like the switch just flips.
Yep.
It's like
and
Marty McFly calling you chicken.
Right.
Just that's
Right.
the word. That's the word.
McFly. And so, and they have it on the security cam, which was kind of going around for a while. Everybody was showing each other the video because it's me, and I have a cup of coffee in my hand, and all you see is the glasses come off and the coffee go down and the swing go, and then Mike Gibbons dives in with my producer, and it just becomes a.
So you were going to hit him.
I went.
I think about the
land?
lawsuit and
No.
all that, man. That's
No,
boy.
and then he was going to kick me off the air during my show. So during the commercial break, I went in and I apologized because I was over it. 10 minutes later,
That's how I am.
my hand was, you know,
I know I don't get.
Heart
I
wasn't
can't
racing.
stay mad.
That's how I am. I'm good.
give a shit.
Yeah, I'm
know?
the same way. I can't hold a grudge. My wife is really good at holding a grudge.
Yeah.
Weird.
She can just get quiet, and then we'll see you forever.
Yeah.
Bye-bye forever. Like she can. Rogan's the same way. Some people can just go, "Oh, you're out."
My brother's the exact same
I
way.
can't do
The
it.
exact same
Did
way.
he ever get like that with you?
Oh, yeah. He used to beat me up nonstop.
But he'd hold a grudge against you.
Yeah. I mean, he has anger issues. He had the whole, he had to see a psychiatrist and all that stuff.
He did.
Hey
Yeah.
man,
We
for
call
sure
him-
don't like out your
Call him-
brother
call
on.
him Shark
the
Eyes
podcast.
Doll Smile. Yeah.
Shark Eyes doll smile.
That's what he looks like.
We love
Get
him
a
though.
fan to
He's
make
the
a
greatest.
picture of that for you.
Yeah, we love him. Yeah.
Yeah,
actually
but he
runs
is a
all
guy
our
who I want
merchandise.
on my side if the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Wait,
Like,
he used to
he'll-
beat you up?
Nonstop.
No,
Nonstop.
How much older was he?
He's almost 2 years older.
So there was an age when you could kick his ass.
Yeah, probably 30, just about 2 years ago.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on.
But other than that, no.
God
he's a
damn.
I
monster.
mean, yeah, you wouldn't really want to fight him because he plays for keeps, probably, right?
Yeah, he's weird, man. He's like Paul Harris, right? Scratching my eyes out or some shit.
Yeah.
But so you grew up dark. So that's comics, man. A lot of them are dark.
Yeah, I mean it's
I
hard
don't
to
get it, though.
generalize, but it does seem to be a pattern. you
Callen's
know?
like the only guy. Maybe Chris D'Elia.
I don't know. No, Chris is dark. Dove Davidoff said there's the only comic I know is who's actually happy is Bryan Callen.
Really?
I'm trying to find something. I can't find
With me?
maybe you're like Dexter of comedians. You're like killing people on the side.
No,
Yeah, right.
I've always been like my mother and my father. I've always been just. I have I think it's a chemical disposition. I think I'm just generally happy. I feel good.
I've never seen
physically.
you in a bad mood once.
I feel good physically. I feel good mentally, and I just feel lucky. I feel almost too lucky to be mad a lot of the times. The only time I get mad is if you are messing with a friend or you're being unfair or unkind or cruel. Like if I think you're a bad person, like if you do something, you can see sometimes you're like, oh, you're a shithead. Like
Right.
if you're, like I'll give you an example. So sometimes a club owner can be, or a group of club owners can be very cheap, and they'll come at me with a certain price, and I know that I sell that place out or I do really well and make them a lot of money. I get really angry, and the reason I get really angry is not because I take it personally. I can afford to not get paid so much. It's people that can't. It's
Right.
people that really need that money, and you're taking advantage of them, and you guys are just making even more money when you don't need it. How much do you really need? I don't like greed, and I don't like excess, and I don't like entitlement.
Well, my boy Greg, you better not park in his parking spot.
Or
He's
don't not
Yes.
pay me a bonus. I got into a screaming match with a club owner recently because this is a big fucking club. It's one of these 500 seaters with the balcony that you got to work your ass. Like I'll go on Rogan's podcast, I'll go on Corolla's podcast,
Yeah.
I'll promote it on my podcast. And then, so I've done the fucking work. I get in a night early, get up at the crack of dawn, do radio interviews.
You sell it.
And then the end of the weekend, they give me my check, and you're supposed to get bonuses on the
Yeah.
sellout show. No, there was a couple tables empty in the back. And it's like, you had
Bad business.
500 people paying $20 a head, and you can't cough up this little
Dude.
fucking bonus?
I have
and
a huge
that's when
problem
I
with that.
really get angry.
Me too. That makes me angry because you're taking advantage.
It's unfair, really.
And I did the
Yeah.
work. We did this together. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it. You know, I know on your end you promoted it, you put an ad in the paper, you did whatever.
Yeah.
We did, but I also did my work. So
Yeah.
why are we not both profiting at the end
Well,
of the
then
weekend?
you guys both shouldn't be UFC fighters because I will sell the fight.
Yeah.
I will shoot countdown shows. I'll go into the fight, and it turns out well, and then you don't get, because
Are you guys get a bonus structure
Oh,
also?
yeah, but it's up to them. They're called
Right.
on discretionary bonuses. So then you don't know what. Sometimes, where I thought I'd get a crazy bonus, I get a small bonus.
Yeah.
Then when I thought the fight was shit, I get a huge bonus.
Right.
So you never know.
Right.
But can you audit them?
No, we can't. I can't call and complain like, "How dare you give me this extra money?"
Yeah.
You sign
it's
up for it
tough.
when you're a fighter. I mean, it's
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the same with you guys. But your guys is different because you can tell. Like you can tell that it's sold out.
Fuck yeah. I
and
mean,
we're also at a certain age. I think at 48 years old, I don't like being treated. I feel like I put in a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I don't like being treated with a lack of respect.
Right.
I am pretty. You know me. I don't have a big ego about that stuff. I'm pretty.
No.
I have a big, long fuse. I don't care. I don't take things personally. I just don't.
I do.
I never have. You do. I
Yeah.
don't. But there's something about that where I think you're being greedy, and I don't care if you want to do it on my back. I don't care that much. I know you're doing that to other people who can't fucking fight back. I think that's what
there's
drives me
acts
crazy.
that come through these clubs, and I think we know which clubs we're talking about, and they get paid this flat. They have this like flat rate thing that they give these comics.
Yeah.
And again, they're 400-seat rooms, and granted, these guys aren't. They're not the total draw. A lot of it's free passes, but it's still when you crunch the numbers, you say like, "Wow, so you're giving them 4% of the door."
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
How
that's
much do you
what I
guys
mean.
need?
You're giving them 4% of the door, and it hurts me. I know people have businesses. I don't know what it's like to run a club. I know sometimes they do have trouble making money.
Yeah.
But man, it's
But I'm telling you, if you give to your talent, it's gonna come back tenfold.
Absolutely.
Man. With anything,
If I
NFL,
had a-
UFC, comedians, actors, if you give to the talent,
Right.
it's gonna go a long ways.
I
man.
Now
think
this
so.
I don't
club,
get why
the
these people
Houston
can't
Improv
figure it
I
out.
just did, and I came up a little shy on a bonus, and they threw it to me. I remember that next
me
time.
too.
Yeah,
And they've
man.
done that to me in certain clubs where, I was 3, 4 people, 10 people shy.
Yeah.
They're just like, let's give them the bonus.
Right.
I really appreciate that. Like Denver did that. Comedy Works. They're
Yeah.
awesome over there.
You're
Wendy.
welcome for that. Yeah, I made a call.
Damn
Yeah,
right
that's
you
really
did.
cool of you.
Thank you.
Big in that
So,
market.
did you know you were going to be a comedian, entertainer?
Yeah.
From the get go. Were you picked on in school?
Absolutely. I don't know that I was picked on. I was very small. I was very skinny, and I think because my dad was 6'2" guy from the Bronx, and he used to hit me, I think I had a real complex about getting picked on.
Your dad used to hit you?
Oh yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Cross the head really hard,
Jesus.
head numb and ringing, and
Okay, yeah.
knock me down. And,
Humiliating. It's so humiliating.
humiliating, pulling the pants down and then getting a belt and whipping me.
How long until you were how old?
Oh, 16.
Oh, that's no joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, 16.
Yeah.
Well, that'll leave a lasting anger.
Yeah, it's a lasting anger, and I think that like I was always a guy that I think I projected a lot of anger, and so people just didn't fight me as much because they kind of wondered like, what's up with this guy?
But here's a fucked up question. Do you think you'd be as funny without a dad like that?
I have a joke where I say, a lot of people say, yeah, I was beat too much. I wasn't beat too much. I was beat just right.
Just enough.
Like I remember the
Never
last
went
time,
to the ER.
This is
I
amazing.
remember the last time he kicked the shit out of me, just getting up off the ground and thinking, perfect. Any more would have been barbaric, and any less, I wouldn't be standing here in front of a room full of drunks.
Thanks,
seeking
Pops.
approval.
A lot of
Thanks,
it,
Dad.
a lot of it is just being able, but a lot of it's knowing, sort of, or at least a lot of it is learning how to think about something a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you talk to your dad still, or
No, he died young. He was like 51.
Oh, he died. Wow, of anger or just a heart
Basically,
condition?
he had a
Died
heart
from
attack.
being an asshole,
Well, he
or-
was an alcoholic, and he smoked 3.5 packs a day.
Well, that'll do
Okay.
it.
yeah,
that will
so he
do
had a
it.
heart attack at 51.
How did you feel when he died? I'm sorry to get personal, but this is fascinating to me because
Me too.
you're such a funny motherfucker, and I know so many comics who've had these kinds of experiences, and by the way, a lot of fighters who came from
Oh,
broken
yeah,
homes.
tons.
Yeah.
It's almost prerequisite.
It's weird because you're not a dark comedian. I'm not a dark fighter. My parents loved the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You're always happy. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to you, Greg, and your shitty
Well,
childhood.
what What was the question?
What went through your mind when your father? That's so young. How old
Well, it
were
was
you?
hard because he had gone through a pretty bad drinking binge, and I was going to summer school at the neighborhood playhouse where
there.
you went, and so I was staying at his apartment in Manhattan, and his brother had died, and he went through one of his worst drinking binges I've ever seen. Like I had to go out and find him every night at the bars, and it was
He was he was close to his brother.
Well, there was abuse, and so it was heavy. And so I got to where I couldn't be around him for a while. I had quit drinking. I was going to Al-Anon meetings, and I needed some space. You know, sometimes you can love somebody, but you need, like, I need to get my head together. I need to create some boundaries between us because I still felt like he was trying to control my life, and I felt I was too malleable to that.
Malleable, yeah.
So then I took some time off, and of course, 6 months later he died, and we hadn't spoken. That's the only time we hadn't spoken because we were, despite all this, we were close.
Oh, wow.
He was extremely supportive of my stand-up. So I had to deal with losing my dad and having lost him while we were fighting.
Fuck.
And so I've never really gotten over it. It's still really difficult.
Yeah. That's kind of fascinating to me to have such an abusive relationship, but there's so much goddamn love there too.
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Do you have kids of your own now? Married?
Yeah, I got two amazing kids. They're 14 and 12, and I just took my son to New York for 8 days, just me and him.
I'm sure you're a great dad.
I just fucking I mean, I know Bryan. We've talked about it. You get to a certain point in your life, and like nothing can compare to the joy and the satisfaction and fulfillment that you can get.
I find like a lot of kids, especially athletes that come from an abusive home, they kind of carry it with them, and then they're abusive to their family.
Right.
You know, because that's what they. It's not that it's normal, but that's what.
Well, I did a lot of I did the Al-Anon thing. I went to therapy today. I mean, I do the work.
Yeah.
And again, I quit drinking 23
You
years ago.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
You know, and we do this segment on this thing recently. We're doing something called dropping knowledge with the kids. So we just come up with an idea, and this is very timely as we're talking about this, because this guy Pedro Mori emailed me something from a TED Talk that Kelly McConigal did called "How to Make Stress Your Friend," and she's a behavioral psychologist, and this is kind of mind blowing. It's rare that I read something or see something at my age where I go, holy shit. So she's been for 10 years teaching people how to deal with stress. And most of us deal with stress. And most of us, the idea is let's deal with stress by getting rid of it or meditating or whatever it is. And the new science on stress, they did a really wild study for 9 years. They followed 30,000 Americans for 9 years.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 30,000 people for 9 years. And that's fucking fascinating. And they found that 43% of the people that suffered from anxiety died. So anxiety causes death. However, only the people that thought anxiety was bad for them died.
Right.
When you think of anxiety as just your heart pumping, your body getting oxygen, and your body getting ready for action, for example. So when you change the way you think about what anxiety is, your heart starts beating because they put them through these crazy tests.
Yeah.
When you have the perspective and the mindset that yes, my heart's beating fast, yes, I can't feel my legs, yes, I'm kind of getting tunnel vision, but that's just my body getting ready.
So it's
action.
fight or flight.
Yeah. What happens is, so when you think of anxiety as bad for you, the blood vessels in your heart constrict. And that is what they think leads to heart disease and heart attack and things like that from anxiety. And when you think of that way, your blood vessels actually stay constricted. Now, when they had people take a different approach and look at anxiety as
is this stress and anxiety? Two separate things.
Yes, they're both the same thing. There's stress and stress. So when you're stressed, when you're put in a high stress situation,
or stress
a
from
test,
a job,
a test,
from
money,
a job,
money, job, anything.
girls.
Yes. And they monitored 30,000 people, so they had a big thing. So what they found was when you look at stress as actually just part of what's going on and part of what's getting your body ready to be more effective in your actions now, two things happen which are fascinating. Their blood vessels stayed open, and their blood vessels in their heart looked exactly like a heart does when it's experiencing joy and courage. So, and on top of that, your body produces a bunch of oxytocin. Oxytocin, they call it the cuddle drug, right? It's what a woman secretes when a child is born.
When she has a baby, yeah.
Well, we produce
Out of
it
her
too,
vagina?
and you'll appreciate this. We produce it
where
too
does that come
when she
from?
has it out of her vagina. Well, we produce this too. When you are in a high stress situation, you produce oxytocin. Now, if you're thinking of the anxiety as something that you're getting, your body's just getting ready for action, and it's a positive thing, even if your heart's beating, the oxytocin they are finding not only makes your heart stronger for a lot of metabolic reasons, more importantly, you end up bonding with the people you're going through stress with. That's why soldiers develop such strong bonds. That's why
Interesting.
your friends, fighters,
Fighters.
when you're in high stress situations, how close were you with your camp and those guys?
Oh, it's crazy.
Because you guys are all producing the same fucking
Siblings
chemical.
and abusive families get very
100%.
close.
That makes sense.
So what happens is if like in everything in life, even with anxiety, so behavioral psychologists and therapists have been trying to get rid of anxiety. Now what they do is they go, hold it. Anxiety is an important factor in success. If you want to be successful, you got to deal with a modicum of anxiety. It should not be you can't keep that at bay. Shit's going to happen. What you can do is just embrace it. Make it your friend. Look at it as in a very different way than we have been looking at it. Don't try to fight it. Just go, holy shit, my heart's beating. My adrenaline's rushing.
Would you
I'm
say
having
even
short of breath.
invite it? Like if you, as a stand-up comic,
100%.
as a fighter, you're
100%.
inviting it.
They want
Yeah,
you
you
to
have
now.
to.
They want you to go, my body is just waking the fuck up and I'm getting ready for action. I'm
You know
going to be
what?
more effective.
I guess
Right.
if everyone turned into a Navy SEAL, that'd be super easy. Who's gonna be like, God, I'm stressed. Yeah, bring it.
Well, but no, but you can change the way
No
you
one.
think. If you think about it going, oh no, this is bad for me, versus if you think like this is actually just a natural function and I'm going to use this, I'm going to turn it into a pump or turn it into energy. You can do that, and they can teach you how to do that pretty quickly. And a lot of it is literally just a
The
change
way
in
you
your
view
perspective.
it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm assuming no one did because I didn't see any responses. Did you guys read the emails that the fans
did.
sent us? Oh, really? What was it about?
Which one? You sent
The suicide kid. Nope.
I read the one
Oh,
with
the
I did.
Nope.
I did.
yeah, let's
I
not
read
get
it.
into it.
So we had a
I read all of them.
we get all these questions or whatever fans that send it to our email on the Fighter and the Kid website, and this kid was writing to us. I'm not gonna say his name. He didn't want us to say it on air, but he's a kid who he lost his girlfriend.
Moved to New York, right?
Yeah,
Or moved somewhere and was alone.
I forget, but he's
Yeah.
alone all the time. His girlfriend cheated on him. He has no friends because he has no confidence, so he's not working out, and he's thinking about killing himself. He has all these suicidal thoughts. So, at a time like that, I usually try to write back. I can't write back to everyone, but those certain emails I write back to him. And I wrote back to him last night, probably around midnight, and his whole story. And I just said, listen, man, you're looking at this all wrong. It's just the way you're viewing this whole
Correct.
situation, because what's going on is, yes, you're alone. Yes, this girl cheated on you. I said, thank God that girl cheated on you, because if you would have got married, had kids, and then she cheats on you, now you're way
Yeah,
more
right.
sticky situation. I said,
You got off easy.
yeah, I told him, I said, you got off easy, man.
Yeah.
This chicken had cheated on you. You're a free man, and you're in this new city by yourself. I said, this is what I want you to do to get out of this funk. Anytime anyone asks you to do something, do it. You go online, find groups, wherever you're at, go to them. Even if it doesn't sound interesting, it's going to
Learn a new skill. That's why a jiu-jitsu class, it's the guys you get to meet and stuff. And,
Well, yeah, I'm not even talking physical. Maybe
Right.
he's not an
Sure.
athlete or anything like that, but maybe you go to, I don't know, even if it's a book club,
Mm-hmm.
a coffee club, something stupid,
So we had
yoga.
a soup kitchen.
There you go, man. I went to a salsa dancing class. I don't salsa dance. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It-
Are
but
you
I-
single?
No, I have a girlfriend. Hold.
Son of a
Hold.
bitch.
Why? What's up, man?
I like to live vicariously through gentlemen
Oh,
like
I got
yourself.
I get stories. For
Okay,
you. Yeah,
good.
no, don't worry. I got you, man.
Good,
Yeah,
thanks.
you
we
can-
call him Hungry Eyes. I mean, he's a faithful guy, but I mean, before things, he was.
you never know. They call me the wild card.
Hungry
Anyway,
eyes,
Hey, man.
shark
they
eyes.
call me wild card. My friends call me wild card.
Got him a wild card.
Wildcat.
Got ourselves a little wildcat on our hands.
couple lounge lizards.
But it
but
is
with
true.
that kid, yeah, man. Just so it's like you said, back to your dropping knowledge of the kid thing. It's just the way you view things, right?
Yeah,
Because I was stressed out with our deal with Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I talked to you about it, you're like, it's good, man. We're good wherever we land.
Yeah.
But I want certain things done certain
Yeah.
way. But when you step back and look at it, you're like, I mean, we're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing well.
But
The
it
greatest
just depends how
example,
you look at it.
the greatest example, they always, one of the sort of must reading as you're coming up is Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, right? Concentration camp survivor, and he wrote the most, one of the more profound ideas, which was he was in a concentration camp and he found out his wife and I believe his children had been killed in Auschwitz, and he found out and he went to throw himself on the electric fence. He was going to kill himself, and as he was going to do it, he stopped and said to himself, if I can survive this and I can be dignified in the process, if I can hold my head up and kind of suffer with dignity, it'll be a massive accomplishment. And so even if I die, I'm gonna do it with as much dignity and as much poise, and I'm going to try to stay positive as I possibly can. And if I can do it in these circumstances, I can do anything. And it was just, it was a very interesting way of looking at life in a very extreme circumstance.
Jeez,
where
talk
there's
about
not
extreme.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he wrote a book and he
This
changed
podcast got
the dialogue.
Wow.
It's got heavy.
I know.
Yeah,
You got any knowledge to drop on us, man? Anything we don't know?
Well, oh, you mean in terms of that type of
I
thinking?
don't know.
Really anything.
Anything, man.
Life.
Here's the
on.
thing.
Cool hats.
Cool hat. I got a cool little
I'm not
summer
mad at
hat
that fedora
on.
at all.
You know what? I like the fedora, and he gets
It
away
looks
with
good
it.
on him, huh?
Get
Yeah.
away with it,
God, I wish
right?
I could wear one, man.
Give it to me. Let me try that bad boy on. Let's see how I look. Look at that.
Well, the advice, it just makes you
Can I
feel
be honest with you guys?
summer.
I'm a cutie pie. I'm a cutie. I don't
Look
even.
at how the brim
I
matches
can't
the
even
shirt.
see. I can't even see what I'm. I can't even see what I'm looking at. I'm already impressed with myself.
Can you tell by the looks on our faces how good it looks?
Yeah, you guys have frozen doll smiles. Speaking of doll smiles, frozen doll smiles. Just like this is Brendan's face.
Well, like I expect you to have the nickname the kid with that hat on.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to buy myself one.
I
Should
expect
we
you to
get
be.
two of them?
I
We
think
are
so.
headed to Costa Rica.
Ooh.
Here, where's this baby?
Dude,
from?
can I be honest with you? I'm so glad you brought that up.
Costa Rica?
As a couple of gentlemen, here's what I
Couple
propose.
1-2 gentlemen.
I might buy myself a linen suit, and I might buy a hat like that.
San Diego
Dude,
Hat
I
Company.
mean, we should
San
be
Diego?
dressed like a couple of gentlemen.
I agree with cigars.
100%.
Where are you going
Full
down
dicks.
Hey, man.
What, man?
Why'd you say full dicks? What does that mean? Are we going to tie off?
No, it's healthy.
You wear a
nice
ring
linen
at the
suit,
base?
A fedora hat, like my boy Greg, and then full dicks.
And a full dick, the way Lenny Kravitz, I think he had a ring on that bad boy.
Is that a current event? Let's save it.
But is that doctored or is that real?
It's real.
Come
bro.
on, man.
We'll talk about it in current events.
Yeehaw!
So
All right.
you're obviously you're a super creative guy, artist, stand up. You're writing for all these shows. Do you ever have a tough time coming up with content or being creative? Is there days where you're like, dude, not today?
I don't think so because I never put an expectation on myself that if I have a script to write, you just got to get it done.
Yeah.
There's no room for writer's block. You got to do it. And then on my own individual writing for stand up, I've just done it long enough that I know that it comes when it comes. Like you have bursts. You
force
have
it.
2-3 days, maybe if you're lucky, a week where you're at a club you like on the road. You're at the Denver Comedy Works, and during the day you go out and you have about 6 cups of coffee and your pen just you dry it out.
It's true.
Writing shit in a yellow notepad.
You got to show up, though.
And you got to show up and you got to follow it. You got to follow the muse. Fucking grab it by the collar and go, where are we going?
So true.
And then you get on stage that night and you got all this new shit. And you open up with some shit you know is going to kill. And then you get into the
Try
yellow
the new
notepad.
stuff.
Try it out and see where it goes. Tape record it that night. You listen to it. And that's where it happens. I don't believe in the whole like sit in an office or your room and try to write.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Me
It doesn't
neither.
work that way
No.
for me.
Me neither. I got to be moving.
Got to be moving. Got to be
Action.
around new
Yeah.
stimuli.
I've written more hiking and walking my dog.
So
than
did you come to? So you,
That bit you have about hiking with your dog is fucking
so
great.
funny.
the bit about my dog?
Yeah.
I don't know it.
I was just making it
Damn
up. I
it.
figured you must have one.
No,
It's
I
great.
don't.
Well,
Fucking
you have one
writing.
about your dog.
I don't know. I don't remember. Not
Weird
anymore.
dogs. You're like, eh.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so when you came here from Boston, from the East Coast,
Well, I'm from New York originally,
York,
and then I
but-
went to college in Boston, did stand up there for 4 years,
and then came here.
back to New York for about 7 years,
Jeez, man.
neighborhood playhouse, then out here to LA.
And when you came out here to LA, it was strictly for stand up, or were you trying to be an actor or do anything
I
else?
had a little heat on me.
Little heat on me.
Has since cooled substantially.
That's what happens as we get older.
Yeah.
Kind of cools. They're like,
The whole
how old is
acting
he?
stuff.
Yeah. I didn't do a lot of acting. I've done a little bit, but mostly like hosting stuff and then doing a lot of talking head type
Yeah.
TV jobs,
Yeah,
a
I
lot
can
of
see that.
writing
Yeah.
jobs. You know, like I did like Best Week Ever on VH1 for 5 years, and
yeah.
then I did Chelsea Lately for like 5 years. And
Love both those.
anytime it seems like pop culture, even though I'm not into pop culture, but that's the kind of like joke writing chops you need because you got to write the stuff you're doing that day.
Yeah, you're not a pop culture guy.
Not at all.
If I asked you who your heroes were, you might even say some authors. I don't know. What
Probably, you know, E.L. Doctorow. I would say some of the great biographers of our day.
Not Khloe
Walter
Kardashian.
Isaacson.
Not Kardashian.
I would
or
literally,
Kate Jenner.
I would have to write jokes on Caitlyn Jenner and Kardashian. I would write them. You know, like you'd go into Chelsea Lately at 5 o'clock. You'd get your topics at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I would just wait for them to come in, be jacked up on coffee, and then just write for a couple hours, go in, spew the shit on TV, and then delete the hard drive.
Yeah.
Gone.
See ya. You don't.
Yeah.
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 Just,
What do you
it's
think
a
of the
job.
Caitlyn Jenner thing? What's your take on that?
Well, I'm from Tarrytown, New York, where Caitlyn is from.
Oh, shit. So a
And-
hero,
Hello.
really? Let's
So,
be.
I mean,
it's a
Where-
hero of yours.
Yeah, where
Bruce was a hero. I mean, I remember 1976 standing on Broadway while he had the convertible going up and all of us cheering and feeling like this real pride. And
39 years ago, by the way.
God damn it!
39. The last time he actually did something real significant was
Right.
39 years ago. I just want to
Some
mention
say
that.
coming out's
amazing.
a bigger accomplishment.
Okay, so there was a 39-year gap.
Yeah, a little gap.
That's all. And I definitely wouldn't say coming out as a bigger accomplishment. That's
I'm
my
not-
opinion.
hey,
than winning a gold medal.
He didn't win an
together?
ESPY.
Well, that was
gold.
negotiated with ESPN.
It was negotiated.
Yeah, which I also have a problem with.
So are you still a fan of
I think
Caitlyn
it's
or Bruce?
look.
Whichever way you
I
want to
think
go?
that this whole movement it started with moving towards gay marriage, and now I think it's extending out of the LGBT world into other transgender issues. And I think the broader we get acceptance of this stuff, the better. I do think it's a little odd that he has chosen to not just become a woman, but to become like some kind of a fucking glam, fake titted. Like it's just like, is that real? That's your idea of what a woman
It's
is?
just,
You know what? Still staring at them titties though. It's just like
yeah,
my
yeah.
brain.
Really?
I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah.
Do you think you could masturbate to that photo on the cover of Vogue?
Well,
No.
he's a little bit. Brennan's a little gay,
Yeah, right.
and so I think Caitlyn.
I love
still
how
has,
he just reacted to that.
Caitlyn
That
still
was the
has-
most
yeah.
straight reaction. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, if he was
Hey, well,
drunk,
you
if he
sounded
was
like an
drunk,
8-year-old boy just
right?
now.
Just like it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, but if he was drunk and Caitlyn
If I was
Jenner
drunk,
like,
Caitlyn
'cause
Jenner-
he gets starstruck too, so he'd
Right.
be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna kiss you. What are you doing? Wait, come on, for a second."
Well, if Caitlyn was like,
He
"Why
wakes
why
up
don't you
with a
come to the
sore
house?
ass.
Yeah, why don't you
Got
come to
a
the
gold
house,
medal
put
on.
the gold
Yeah.
medal on, get naked. We'll
There
see,
you
man.
There you
Right.
go.
Sounds like a hell of a time.
Wear the
I
gold
don't
medal.
know.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Super gay.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think anybody who feels that way, like if you're gay, if you are transgender, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and try to censor you, make you feel bad, or exclude you. I just have never been that kind of guy. For me, it was just. I just would like a little minute. I'd like just a minute to digest.
Give me a second to figure it out.
Can I just get a minute to go? Holy.
Give me a
fuck.
second to
I
figure it
know.
out.
Holy shit, that's weird.
Well,
Yeah,
because
it's true.
if
They
you,
shove
I
it
need
down
a
your
minute.
throat, and then they want you to make eye contact while they do it.
yeah. Just give me a minute to go. He did go from a 65-year-old man to a 35-year-old woman really quickly.
Give me a second.
I
need a second.
It shouldn't say "call me Caitlyn." Can it just say oh, "whoa" or
Yeah.
"holy shit"? You
I know
know,
it's like my mother when I married a Jew, and my mom is a hardcore Irish Catholic.
Oh,
I've got
boy.
21 first cousins.
she's a smoke show. Your wife too, by the way.
A what?
She's a beautiful woman.
She is a beautiful.
She
woman.
really is.
Wait, when did you meet my mom?
I used to your wife.
Oh, I was talking about
We
my
were
mom.
neighbors,
Oh, right.
so,
Yeah, my wife is.
I was like, I thought you were talking about your mom too. I was
well, my
like, easy
mom's
on
not
your
bad
mom,
either.
bro.
She's
Yeah.
an attractive woman, but she. I married a Jew, and my mom is part of a family that only marries Irish Catholics.
Oh boy,
I mean, it's crazy, like to the point where
the kind of skin that
it's
smolders in the
hysterical.
sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a very thin gene pool. Everyone looks like each other. And so when I told my mom we were getting married, she was so happy, loved my wife, loved my fiance at the time, blah, blah, blah. And then we said we want to get married on the beach and maybe have this woman, Ann Ward,
Not in
marry
a
us.
church? Oh,
Not in
boy.
a church. And she fucking burst into tears.
Oh boy.
And she left and she went to church and then came back. And then I was like, Mom, what the hell? We love each other. She's like, look, Can you give me a minute? It was just that. Give me a minute to
Give me a
digest
second.
it. I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying
Give
I'm
me
not
a
giving my
fucking
blood.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
man.
me take this
Yeah.
in. You're breaking the family
Yeah.
tradition.
That's a big deal.
Let me
Yeah.
soak it in for a
Right,
second.
right.
She had an image in her head since she was a little girl or whatever, since you were born. My son's going to be married someday. A priest is going to marry them in a
Right,
church, like
right.
everybody I've ever known.
Right. Not
you had to
not
go
some
and wear-
hook-nosed Jew with horns.
Give me a second. Well, if you turn on TV these days, there's probably 4 or 5 transgender shows. Do I watch all of them? Maybe.
Transparent.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You love that stuff.
TLC, there's one with
Watch
the little girl.
Transparent win a bunch of Emmys this year too.
Jeffrey Tambor, my acting teacher for a number of years.
What?
For
Really?
a number of years, and hands down the best acting teacher by far.
No
yeah?
shit.
Oh my God, he was amazing.
Where
God
was this?
Damn, that guy was amazing. He
Here in
could
LA?
read your face. He could look at somebody in the class and turn and go, "You want the good news or the bad news?" They'd be like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Well, good news is you got 1 foot in. Bad news is you got 1 foot out. You're about is that right? You on the fence about this class?" They'd be like, "Yeah." He goes, "Sorry, I'm trained. I can read your face." Like he was that good.
Yeah.
He was that fucking good.
What was he doing teaching acting?
He taught acting for 20 years.
Just
at
for the hell of it.
Beverly Hills Playhouse.
What else is he known for?
Well,
Well,
let's
Larry
start with
Sanders
And Justice for All, the Larry Sanders Show. I mean, he's an multi.
Yeah, what about
Emmy
newer
award.
stuff though?
He's he movies.
I'm just trying to. It's just
Meet Joe
not.
Black.
It's just not.
Show him a picture of Jeffrey Tambor.
I bet I'll recognize him.
Hands down the best, one of the best
He
actors.
is, hey now.
Yeah, one of the best actors.
You know that from the Howard Stern show? Hey
But
now?
a great
That was his line on Larry Sanders.
Okay.
dude. He would do shit to me where he'd be like, "You gonna play a scene like that? This is in front of like 100 people. You gonna play a scene like that? Really? If he plays a scene like that, you look at my scene partner. You should walk off the stage. Walk off because he's being a shit heel.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
The greatest.
Oh yeah, he's in a
Arrested
bunch
Development?
Oh,
Did
he's
you
in The
mention that?
Hangover. He was in The Hangover as the father. Remember?
of stuff. Yeah, he's in The Hangover. He's in a ton of
Yeah,
stuff.
Arrested
Right.
Development. Yeah,
Right.
he's in everything. He's never stopped working. That guy.
Hey now.
Never stopped
Yeah,
working.
he's in a ton of
He's
stuff.
one of those actors that literally has never taken a day off acting. He's just always got a job.
Yeah.
But when you learn from him, you see not only how much he loves acting, he's only interested in
Passionate.
acting.
Yeah,
Oh
it's-
my, human behavior. Human behavior. He likes, like, he'll come in when you're doing a scene. I actually learned what a motherfucker like that. Like, so you have actors, guys like me who'll show up and do the thing. And then you have the dudes, who you go to the movies for.
Yeah.
Where Christian Bale or whoever. And he works in that vein where the guy was looking at art. He was for a scene, and he goes, "Stop!" The guy was just looking at art in the scene. Stop. The guy, he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm looking at the art." No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not doing anything. You're just looking. I don't know what you're doing, but I certainly can't watch this. Like he'd stop you
can't
before
watch
you
this.
even did the scene because you weren't really looking at the art,
Really?
and he could
Little
pick
bit of a
that
dick,
shit
though,
up.
huh?
Well, that's how if you
Little
want
bit of a
to be a
dick.
good actor, that's what
But
he'll do.
then you have acting teachers that say, walk over, stand there, and look at the painting. Like,
Yeah.
directors that just say, cut the shit.
You know who won't though? Christian Bale and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
They won't do that. De
So,
Niro
so is
will
a
be
guy like
looking.
that your acting coach? Who we all know him from all this stuff. Is he set, or does he still have to work on?
I
his
think
set?
he's got money.
He's set.
Yeah, he's got money. I mean, his SAG pension alone's got to be crazy. He's got money.
He's worked so long.
Yeah, a guy like that. But a guy like that also doesn't. These kind of guys like that don't give that much of a shit about money. Like he drives a nice car and
Cares
stuff.
about
but
the art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're working all the time.
Married?
It's really, yes, I think he's still married.
Yeah, probably one of those guys.
An older daughter, but yeah.
For you, how's it being on the Howard Stern network, or kind of the umbrella with Sirius?
It's good world because I go out to my shows and people come out, they support you because you're on the network, and there's like because my grandfather say shake the hand of the man who shook the hand of Henry Jones, and I never knew who Henry Jones was.
Either do
But
I.
it's like that with Howard Stern. Like I've touched Howard Stern, and people will literally, even if they don't like my show, they come out because of that association.
Yeah, you're associated with him.
Wow.
And it's been like a unbelievably supportive situation. I've done the show for 7 or 8 years, 8 years, and I don't think I've ever gotten one single note from the network about how to do my show. It's an hour
That's
on
awesome.
Mondays. I
That
bring
either
in,
means they don't listen to it, or
I don't care.
Yeah.
I
it's
really
an
wonder
hour-
that
it's
sometimes.
an hour
I used
live.
to wonder that. Now I don't even care.
yeah.
Yeah, as long as you
It's an
can do
hour
your thing.
live.
Hour
I take
live
phone
on
calls.
Sirius.
I bring in guys like Bryan Callen and sit in. I love to have you in sometime.
sure.
And just shoot the shit. We talk about whatever. I mean, it's not dissimilar from this.
Because Sirius they have obviously Howard Stern is their big dog. Then they have our boy Jason Ellis. Do you know Jason at all?
Love Jason.
Yeah.
He just came on my show 2
He's
weeks
great,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason's great.
Yeah, so they have a number of things that they do there.
Yeah, I think they got Opie and Anthony over there.
That's right.
And they've got this big Mexican guy who's like the biggest name in Latino radio. He's
sure he
huge.
does well, yeah.
Yeah, he's like probably bigger ratings than anybody else on the channel, as a matter of fact. Yeah, because it's international.
Yeah, it's huge. Seriously.
Do you have any athletes on your show? Are you a sports fan?
Casual, I would say. I don't know if I've had
Watch
any
fighting? You
athletes
watch the
on.
fight game?
No, I don't watch fighting. I saw the fight on Saturday night just because I was sitting at the Comedy Store and it was on.
What about being from the East Coast, you're not a Yankees fan or
I was
Giants or
when I
anything?
was a kid. My dad did radio. He was like one of the #1 radio guys in New
wow.
York my whole life.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh shit!
he was on WNEW, and so they covered the Mets, the Giants, and the Rangers, and
That's
so we
awesome.
had season tickets to all those games. So I was a huge a Mets fan growing up, and then I was in Boston for the '86 series. So my dad flew up, took me to Game 4, and that was it. They won that series, and I was kind of like, it's never going to get this good again. And then
Yeah.
there was a baseball strike a couple years later, and I
Fell
checked out of baseball. I watch playoffs of stuff, but I
Yeah.
just got 2 kids, and I do shit with them, and I'm out at night doing stand-up comedy. I don't know when the fuck
what
I would
happens,
watch
man.
sports.
I know,
Are your,
especially
are your
baseball.
kids athletes?
My son is a soccer star. We just went to. He's the captain of the 14 and under U.S. boys team.
Oh, nice.
And we went to
Damn.
Spain for the
Damn,
for Easter. We played
Little
against teams from
superstar.
all over the
he's
world.
got some speed.
He's a superstar. Yeah, they tried to recruit him. This is the #1 high school in the country is downtown L.A., the #1 soccer high school.
Wow.
And they tried to get him to play for them this year. Our phone was ringing every 2 days.
Oh, he's a little stud.
Yeah,
man.
he's really good. So there's that, and then my daughter's a surfer. She's on her school surf team.
Would you be opposed if your kids want to be comedians or entertainers, like actors, just because you know the grind? Like the chances of them
I think
making
that-
it's not good.
Well, I think that it weeds out the people that you're only going to do it if you're meant to do it, and you don't really have other options. Because if you really need to do it, then you can't. Then you're going to keep doing it, even if there's going to be bumps in the road or
Yeah.
it doesn't take off
You're
at first.
staying on, yeah.
So I don't think it's a matter of encouraging or discouraging, because I don't think you can talk somebody out of that, and I certainly wouldn't talk them into it.
Yeah.
But I would say most people, I think what a great experience to go take some improv classes at the UCB Theater or do a 2-year intense acting program. That's going to help you for the rest of your life.
That makes sense.
If you become an accountant, but you learn how to listen and answer truthfully, that's going to help your marriage. That's going to help your friendships. That's going to help you in business.
I need to sign up for that shit.
I don't listen very well.
That's all we learned. For 2 years, we studied Meisner.
He didn't listen.
Let's do it right now. You're wearing a green shirt.
You're wearing a green shirt.
I'm not wearing a green shirt.
You're not wearing a green shirt.
No, I'm not wearing a green shirt.
No, you're not wearing a green shirt.
Okay, I'm not wearing a green shirt.
Okay, you're not wearing a
All
green
right, you
shirt.
don't care.
I don't care.
You 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 don't care.
I don't care.
All right.
That's listening and answering. And
Do
by
that
the way,
for an hour.
you do that.
Hey, man, I'm not signing up for that bullshit. Wow.
How about this? Ready? How about this? We had to do what's called grokking. This is more embarrassing than anything.
Did
Oh,
Morgan
by the way,
Freeman
when you do
this?
that, when
Did
you do
Morgan
that,
Freeman do
yeah,
this
when you do that
bullshit?
shit, you cry. People cry.
Yep.
How about they yell at each other? How about this? This is even better. Sometimes I was in an acting class, and you had to hold each other's hands and look into each other's eyes.
Guys on
and-
guys?
Sure.
Yep.
And grok, and this really sensitive guy was looking at me, and the teacher was like, "It's okay if you cry." You know me with that shit. I'm not.
Laughing? I'd start laughing.
I'm just also not very. I'm not sentimental. I'm what's called not very sensitive.
You know what we
I'm
call a
kind of
serial
dick.
killer?
Yeah, I'm kind of dead behind the eyes because I had to be growing up. So
You and Evan both. I feel like Evan might be a killer. Anyways, carry on.
it has never happened with me. And guys would cry. One guy was crying, tears. I was looking at him going, "Well, in any other situation, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, you're a bitch." Like, I'm the kind of guy. Guys are always like, "I can take that guy. I can take that guy. That guy might be a problem." Guys always do that. Who walk into a room like, "That guy can kick my ass. I can take that guy. I can take that."
Right,
It's just a
right.
weird thing.
I had a Puerto Rican girl punch me in the face one time during a repetition exercise.
Damn.
Well, you would do these preparations before you came in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and you would say, he would whisper in your ear, go outside. You just caught your boyfriend in bed with your dad, and then you whisper in the other guy's ear, come in. You just found out that you inherited $1 million, and then you guys you're gonna do a repetition exercise, but you're both coming from this emotional place, and you don't know where the other person's coming from.
God, fuck acting class. I remember this so well.
And then
Sounds kind of cool.
So as you would repeat, you were picking up on and you were looking at them, and you were feeling their energy, and you were letting it affect you. But you also you were coming from an emotional place that they were feeling, and that's what good acting is that both people are bringing something to the scene and learning something from the other person. Even though you've got your lines written, there's an emotional life that lives underneath.
You'd be amazed at how vulnerable you are.
So
would
you be able to tell off that person's actions? You'd be able to tell that something's wrong with them, or that
you wouldn't even think
died?
about it. You would allow yourself to feel it.
Wow.
And it happens. And when you have a bunch of people watching you and you're already nervous and you're embarrassed and all that shame is there anyway, and you're kind of naked and you got to do this scene, dude, shit happens out there.
Yeah.
It happens, man. Because you got a teacher going, stay in the moment, stay there. You want to cry? Go ahead and cry if you want to cry.
Oh, I might cry.
Right? You're like,
Oh, what's wrong with this big guy?
it's embarrassing, dude. Girls in the class, you're like, hey, I did it a couple times.
And we had
I'm embarrassed right now admitting it.
You'd have to.
We had this teacher
you
named
did.
Richard Pinter, and he was this.
Well, that was my teacher.
That was my teacher too.
And he's one of my favorite people. Before you go on, he's one of my favorite people on the planet of all time.
Absolutely.
What were you saying though?
Flaming homosexual.
With a
He used
huge
to
mustache.
wear button fly jeans with the top button unbuttoned.
Awesome.
He had the handlebar mustache, not handlebar.
Giant mustache.
Big, thick, fucking
Thick black
gay
mustache.
Village people
Jewish,
mustache.
Jewish and Italian mix.
And he would come out and he would wear those 3/4 length Reebok aerobics shoes with the tongue out
And a scarf.
and a scarf. And then if you were doing a scene and he didn't like, he'd go, bullshit, bullshit, stop.
He was amazing.
Yeah, he was amazing, and he had these two people came in one time. It was this gay guy and this girl named Mary, who was from North Carolina, with curly, dark, shiny red hair, about 5'11", the kind of body you don't even have to see it naked. Well, she comes in, and they decide there's also a thing called an independent activity, where you come up with an activity that you need to be doing while you're doing the scene, independent of the lines.
Okay.
You're bringing all this shit back to me.
They decide they're going to do an S&M session. So she comes in, and she's wearing a thong and topless.
Yeah.
And he's wearing leather shorts and a mask, and he starts whipping her with like one of those leather tassels.
Yeah.
And I've got
Sounds
a
awesome.
fucking thickie, and I'm staring at this, and I'm like, this is the greatest moment of my life. I'm sitting 3 feet away from Mary, who I've been jerking
Girls
off
always-
about
You
for
have a rock
year.
hard boner.
They always take their clothes off, too.
And then
What?
all of a sudden,
Yeah,
I'm
always.
signing
all
up
of a
for
sudden,
classes.
Pinter goes, bullshit! Put your goddamn clothes on. I was like, no!
How dare you? God damn it, gay boy. Why?
Oh, man.
Let
he
him
was-
go.
I know. He was amazing that way. He would do shit to me first time I met him. I didn't know. Richard Pinter was the first man to show me that there were other expressions of masculinity. I grew up with a father who was a prototypical Marine, a man, and I thought there was one expression of masculinity, which was no emotion, be tough as shit, dominate other people, win the argument, all that stuff. And Richard Pinter said, no, you can be really emotional too, You can just be honest with what's going on. He started talking to me, and I said, he goes, who do you like for actors? I go, Mickey Rourke. And he goes, that's why you dress like him, huh? And I went, and he goes, oh, that embarrassed you. Good. I go, no. He goes, oh, of course it did. Don't worry.
Mickey
And
Rourke.
he goes, that's why you dress like him. I go, I was 20, 23. I go, no. He goes, oh, yeah. Oh, that embarrassed you. And I was like, no, I'm okay. He goes, no, you're embarrassed, and that's okay. And I'm going to teach you that that's okay. First guy to do that, where I had never had.
That's kind of cool, man.
Very cool. I'd never had anybody tell me that a man can also, I don't know, cry, be a little bit sensitive, be a weakling, be all that stuff.
Right.
And by the way, he may have been gay. He was about the most masculine
But that's
motherfucker
what I was
I'd ever
about
met
to
in my
say,
life.
is he showed you by being a gay man that could intimidate straight men that you could be sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a
bad
model for it, and he
motherfucker.
got in your head.
Yep.
He could read your thoughts better than you could. He would enlighten you to yourself.
Incredible. Another guy who was a mind reader.
Is he
Yeah.
still teaching or no?
I would
Yes,
imagine.
he still is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes. And when he taught me, he was 50. 50 and 51. And
You think he's still teaching?
yes, I promise you he's still teaching. And in fact, he was teaching up until 2 years ago. He lives in New York City, and he is just, I was like, how do you have so much energy? He was one of those guys who had so much energy. And he goes, I drink inordinate amounts of white wine, garlic, and pasta. And that would be his answer. And I would do a scene, and he would go like this. He'd go, I'm going to have to stop you. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that I've been staring at his knee this entire time because I'm too embarrassed to look at you. Like, he would say that in front of everybody. He goes, I'm not sure what you're doing. I have not been able to stop looking at his knee. I lip synced the Springsteen song with a broom handle. Don't ask me what the fuck I was trying to do. And he goes, don't ever lip
That
sync.
sounds like a
Don't ever lip sync a song like that. And you were dancing.
dead serious.
Bro, dead serious. He goes, don't ever do that again. And he goes, so you have to sit down now because that was terrible. He
What's
was
the
the
rest
greatest.
of this? Like, see, if that happened, I'd be in tears laughing at you.
Bro, and they were.
Are people
What?
laughing? Or is everyone like,
No, they
"Bravo,
were
Bryan"?
they were laughing. They were just like, they'd be like, well, but everybody fails. At least, you know what he said to me one time? He goes, Bryan, when you fail spectacularly.
Right.
I mean, I would just try some shit.
Right.
I was like, today I'm going to discover water to music. He's
Yeah.
like, excuse me, what are you doing?
He one time did me the greatest service of anybody in history. Is I was taking the class, and I was doing that girl who punched me in the face, the Puerto Rican girl.
Why'd she punch you in the face?
Because her preparation was something like that her boyfriend had fucking killed the baby or something.
Yeah.
And so when she came in, she
took
was
that
so
shit
round up,
literal.
she took it out. She wasn't in control of her preparation. And
For
so,
sure, calm down.
but we had another scene from A Dreamer Examines His Pillow, and he said we were supposed to be fooling around in this scene, and we had broken up, and this was like some makeup sex, and we're fooling around, we're making out in the class. And he's like, "This is shit. This is shit. I'm not buying it. You seem like a couple of you're a lesbian. You're gay. I don't know what's happening, but I'm feeling nothing." And so he said to us, "You're gonna come to the studio Saturday. Here's the keys. You guys come in. I want you to fuck around. I want you to fuck around until you feel it, so that I can see it in class." And so we came into class, locked the door, and they had that shitty twin bed.
Yeah.
Got on the bed and just started making out and dry humping and groping for an hour.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And
There-
then, and
by the
then
way-
I
I'm
said-
signing up
By the way,
for
I
this
used
shit.
to, I would really fuck him, but keep going. Keep going.
well, I had a
okay.
girlfriend, so this was
Ah,
safe.
well,
Never stop
this was
me.
safe.
Keep going. Yeah.
And so I said, "I don't
Yes.
think we got it. Should we do this again tomorrow?" And
Yeah.
she goes, "Yeah, let's come into it." She had a boyfriend. I had a girlfriend. It
Oh,
was fucking
wow.
great.
Oh,
It's
dude.
work.
Yeah, I wasn't cheating.
No, man, it's work.
The number of times I would do a scene in the years of acting class that I spent. I mean, I spent fucking years unemployed. Years. It really didn't pan out. The point is that I'm gonna make it someday. Not a shot. You're 48. Here's the thing: the literally 5 years I spent, 15 years in acting class.
15 years?
Oh, sure. I will guarantee that if you took a tally, 15 good years
How
of
the
studying
hell
the craft
are you not-
and still recurring on the Goldbergs. Didn't pan out. Here's the thing, dude.
Dude.
The greatest part was that it'd just be the hottest gals in the world.
Hottest girls.
And you'd do a scene, and you'd have to make out, and it'd be late at night, and fucking El Dirtbago over here.
Take it to the-
El Persuasive Dirtbago would be like, well, I guess my hands might roam, and the next thing you know, we're having sex.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then-
great.
then you got-
Dated girls, moved them in my house.
Dude, I think
Yeah.
everyone listening to this show is going to sign up for acting classes.
Oh, I would say that, I would say to anybody who's single
fun.
out there, do not complain about being single. Go get in some acting classes.
Yeah.
Because people become vulnerable, like you're talking about.
Yes.
You open up, you're feeling emotions, you connect
Pants
to
come
people.
off.
You have to trust each other to do the scene.
Yeah.
Pants come off.
You fall in love,
Dude.
too. People fall in love. I
Yeah.
fell in love. with
I
a
fall
couple
in
girls.
love
Right.
easily. Very easily.
Do you?
Easy.
Very
Ooh, the
easily.
big man, and they're all vulnerable. You'd be crying with your cauliflower ears.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the next thing,
Oh, there it is. Oops.
oops.
Is she
what's
super
this
short,
thing?
or why is your dick
Release the Kraken.
Oh, hey. Oh, I get hard when I cry. Tears and boners. This is a scene we like to call tears and boners.
I had one where I was supposed to rape a girl.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. We were fucking around, and she had big tits, and I'd dry hump her, and I was supposed to choke her and rape her.
What was the scene? Extremities?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think Farrah Fawcett was in it.
So you guys do
call it or
scenes?
what?
You do scenes from old movies?
Well, they're plays that become movies.
The reason I knew it was Extremities is that any rape scene, usually it's
that
going to be that,
example.
right? There are just a few
Right.
that you always know.
Yeah. But I
did-
couldn't
I did
pull it off.
Extremities, too.
Were you able to pull it off?
I was dating, kind of having a thing with the girl anyway.
So you were already raping
So
her.
yeah, so she was kind
Very
of
creepy.
she was already kind of. Actually, to be honest with you, like we would do it, and I would, she was really into it. It was like role playing.
Lord. Let's get to some current events with Evan the Beard.
I mean,
Let's do it.
the guy who wrote that play, his daughter actually had been raped, and he didn't know how to deal with it, so he wrote the play. That's the story,
Wow.
anyway.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
William Mastramoni or something. I think. I don't know.
Let's get some current events with Evan the Body the Beard.
All right, less rape talk, more dick piercing talk.
All right.
Lenny Kravitz's dick exploded out of his pants. I guess that's what happens when you wear leather pants for 10 years. I'm surprised this hasn't happened already
Tight leather
before.
pants.
Real tight leather pants, middle of a concert, got into a deep squat. Dick just burst right out of
I
there.
sent you the picture.
And he was wearing a cock ring.
Yeah, you did have a
No.
cock ring. You had a cock ring on.
That's impressive.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Full size dick on him too, as you would expect.
He's doing pretty well.
So no underwear, obviously.
No underwear, hot black pants that were just had enough, and then released the vacuum.
And he
in
had
front of everyone, bent down and just dick out.
and that rod was pretty much he had. Where was the ring? Was around the base or
The
was
ring
it around
was on the base.
It wasn't around the balls and the
No, just the base. It
shaft.
looked like.
That to me sounds like it might have been choreographed. Because
Yeah.
if you're as rich as Lenny Kravitz, you don't buy leather pants that explode.
That's a solid point, Greg. That is.
And
a
the cock
solid
ring
point.
was his way of making sure that he was fluffed.
I didn't even think about it.
Conspiracy.
You, sir, are a genius.
because you know what?
And you know what? He needs to be more in the media, right? He's kind of dying down a little.
Dying
so they
down.
thought, what could we do here? I'm gonna wear these tight ass leather pants. We're gonna tear them. Cock ring.
the cock ring will keep it somewhat chubbed. It'll keep
Right.
you at 30%.
Well,
Right?
it depends.
Yeah.
You go to the shop and you specify, I'm sure, like a ring size.
Yeah.
And you go 1/8 of an inch smaller than you are flaccid.
You don't want it too.
and
You
get
don't want it too
30%.
tight.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets too tight, the thing falls asleep.
I've never
Oh.
worn one, but
I've never worn one.
I might
either, but I can
invest.
imagine.
Yeah.
Hey, do we have a photo? You guys don't do that.
They just have videos. They have like
Okay.
little Vine videos that people were taking in the crowd.
So it really
That's how it got
is. So,
caught.
so this is not doctored. This is what
No,
happened.
it's for real.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it happened at a concert.
D-
When I say that picture, it
damn.
really happened.
That's amazing. He's shouting too. Ah! Right? It looks like it.
Wait, now what is Lenny Kravitz? It's interesting because like I know that the Stones did he produced some of the Stones' last album. Like he's very well respected.
Oh, yeah.
And yet he was like a 3-hit wonder basically.
No, Kravitz is legit. Kravitz has.
That's what I mean. Is I guess he is. But
Oh
I
yeah,
missed it.
Kravitz albums are legit. I mean, his music is legit.
Do you own a Lenny Kravitz album?
I did. I've listened to a lot of Lenny Kravitz.
Wow.
But he hasn't done anything in a while.
That's true. But his shit.
His
like,
biggest song was
Are you
American
gonna-
Woman.
Are you gonna go my
No,
way?
Are you gonna go my way?
Yeah, and then also
American Woman was his
Yeah, but that was
biggest
a
song.
cover.
Love my
a good
woman
point.
now. He's got some great songs. I mean, great songs. He can sing his ass
Well, he
off.
can
I
play
don't know
the
about
guitar.
the album thing though.
Yeah, and he can also
Yeah, I don't know how
sing
well
can
his,
shred,
I don't
yeah.
know how well his albums did.
it well. He was big. He was very big.
Hey man, I'm gonna need you to relax on Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Jesus
I'm on
Christ.
Team Bryan for this one.
You're a Lenny Kravitz fan?
I mean, I'm not.
You are too?
I'm not into that kind of music, but I always was under the impression that he's like a fucking rock
Like
star.
a legend?
He's a
Like
straight
we
up
just
rock
don't
star.
get it because like what's hot in the streets is shit that dumb young kids listen to.
Well,
It
everything
ain't
but Lenny Kravitz is hot. Yeah.
Lenny
But, yeah.
Kravitz was a
I feel like Lenny
legit
Kravitz
rock
is
star.
gigantic.
Legit.
Really?
Well,
SNL
he committed. He went with the Hendrix and the Prince kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is half of it.
And did a lot of covers really well, like American Woman and stuff. Like he was, but he's a bad motherfucker, man. He can jam.
Apparently.
He posted
Alright.
some pretty funny screenshots of text messages from people that he was getting after that. He had a conversation with Steven Tyler, and the conversation is it's from Steven Tyler to Lenny, and all it says is, dude, no underwear and pierced? Fuck me, you never showed me that shit.
That's great.
And then there was another conversation between Zoe Kravitz, Lenny's daughter, who's super famous, and
What's she
Chelsea.
famous from?
She's a really big actress.
What's she
You would
in?
recognize her if you saw her
What's
face.
she in?
I don't know. I can't name any of her shit offhand, but she's famous as shit.
X-Men?
The
Was
new
she
one?
X-Men?
Yeah,
Yeah, she was
The new one?
She's probably a smoke show, right?
X-Men First
she's
Class?
super hot.
Smoke.
Oh, is she the one with wings? Oh, I'm not mad at her at all. She is a dime piece.
Nah, there's no reason to be mad at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a conversation that she posted between her and Steven Tyler's daughter, and it's just, so our dads are talking about their dicks on social media. This is great.
That's awkward.
That's
Hashtag
that is
penis
awkward.
gate.
That's fantastic.
That's pretty funny.
Well,
What else you got, Ev?
never seen her before because I'm old, but she's a beautiful girl.
She's a babe.
Good
say?
Lord. Yeah, she is
Oh,
smoking
sweetie.
Well, she looks a little goth there, but
Look
I'm all
at
about
that.
I'm down
Oh
with it.
yeah.
Don't be mad at that. Why would you be mad at that?
That's a hot octogenarian right there.
damn right.
Yeah,
it is.
she is.
Good actress too.
What else has she been in?
She did this indie movie. I forgot what it was called, but she was in like a psycho house, and she was anorexic or bulimic. That was her problem, but it was really good.
So she lost some weight for the role.
The End of the Road or something. It's called. It's really good.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've never heard anyone refer to
Are you gonna go my way?
a mental hospital or mental ward as a psycho house.
Psycho.
I think you made that up on the spot.
Psycho House.
Oh yeah, she was in a psycho house.
Yeah.
Well,
What else you got, Ev?
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Relax on Lenny Kravitz, though, Bryan.
Yeah.
Callen.
Yeah, take it down a notch.
all right, man. All right.
Who's wearing the cock ring here?
I got carried away,
Got
guys.
excited.
Shit.
Saw his piece.
Damn it.
So Kelly Osbourne got super racist unintentionally on
yeah,
The
that's
View
hilarious.
yesterday.
I didn't see it. On
Yeah.
The View?
Oh, she got real racist right in front of. I'll just read the quote.
Right
and
in
I'll
front
tell
of
you.
Whoopi Goldberg?
Right in front of Rosie Perez.
Okay.
So she was talking about Donald Trump's stance on
Mexicans.
illegal immigrants, and Kelly Osbourne's quote was, "Hey Donald, if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who's going to be cleaning your toilet?"
Well, she might have been trying
I
to
was
say.
like, "No, I didn't mean it like that." Like, you fucked up.
That's tough.
And then
Yeah.
they cut to commercial, and there was a lot of like immediate like chatter, and then they came back from commercial, and she kind of apologized.
I get what she was trying to say, which is, in other words, like the people that do your shitty work, that people that work really hard and do a lot of the work other people are not willing to do are immigrants.
Yes, a lot of them are immigrants.
Yeah.
I get what she's saying.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't have a huge problem with it.
Horribly phrased though.
Yeah, it's badly phrased.
It's bad for
It
sure.
was an idea
should've
that
seen
got
Rosie Perez's
it got
face
jumbled. It got jumbled. What
Yeah.
she was trying to say, it needed to be predicated by.
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
want to get rid of all Latino people, don't forget a lot of those people are responsible for
go.
doing jobs
Yes.
Americans don't want.
Yeah,
to
and
do.
a lot
Yes.
of them,
There
are
you go.
fucking American and just as American as anybody. It's fucking retarded.
It's
I never
retarded.
understood
It's
that
stupid.
shit.
Yeah.
It's
I don't get
crazy
it.
stupid.
I mean, all right.
Well, I always think about this the other day though, because I don't get. I send my kids to a Spanish immersion school. Half the kids in their school are in, our parents don't speak English or here undocumented, and they're the most beautiful people you've ever met, and they're the future of the country. They work their asses off. The kids are the best behaved kids.
Yeah.
The white kids are the ones that get into trouble all the time.
I fucking hate white people, man.
and yet, but I don't know. Am I not exposed to, because it's a school? It's a public school, but it's a school of choice. You have to opt into it. Am I getting exposed to a certain sector of the Mexican community?
The debate on the anti-immigration side, there's an intelligent position in this country where you say, who are you letting in the country, and you want to let the best and the brightest in the country.
It doesn't work like that.
But what people will a lot of times say is that if you look at a large portion, I'm just saying I'm voicing what that a number of a lot of Mexican immigrants tend not to assimilate and learn the language and push into higher education like a lot of previous immigrants
Call those
have done.
Mexicans.
Yeah, but there is a lot of there is that I don't know if that's true, but that's the rhetoric, and
Of course it's true.
Yeah.
Well, you could say that there's a lot of Asian communities that are like that as well. I mean, there's a Chinatown in every city where people do not speak English.
Yes,
It's true.
but typically they push their children into education, which is the premium over everything.
Right.
Whereas that is not so much the case in a lot of, from what I hear, Latino communities. And so that would be something that people say, well, if that's the case, you're getting third and fourth generation kids who aren't even speaking English and are not getting educated. And, by the way, are taxing the system. So that would be That's
their
what
argument.
I've heard.
That's their
yeah,
argument.
I don't know.
Well,
all I
first
know
of
is that
all,
the
in terms
Mexicans
of
that I know
taxing-
work
Greg,
their ass
educate
off.
him for me.
Well, in terms of taxing the system, to use the word taxing, they are paying into Social Security that they will never get back.
Exactly.
And they say that if you factor in healthcare costs of them going to emergency rooms, public school, educations, if you were to take all that together, the amount they pay into Social Security that they'll never recoup easily pays for all the social services that they're using.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just know that the majority of the Mexicans that I see are working their ass off.
better work
Right.
ethic than
It's the
most.
I'm
craziest,
driving
like,
home from a
toughest
gig at 1 in
motherfuckers
the
on
morning, and I
planet.
see some dude on a fucking Huffy with black pants and shoes because he was bussing.
Right.
And now he's going to another fucking job
Yeah.
at a car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these guys,
I mean,
they're
you make
living
sure
the
you roll up
American
your windows
dream.
and lock your doors. But
You
yeah, no, I
go,
hear
go
you,
to
man.
Home. Go
I
to
hear
Home
you,
Depot.
brother.
Go to
Living
Home
the
Depot.
dream.
You go to Home Depot right now. You got a bunch of guys out there, mostly what look like Mexican or Latino guys, waiting for a job, just looking for a job. They're waiting. They're out there. They're willing.
Right.
So for me, man, that's look. My family was Irish and Sicilian. The Sicilians and the Irish didn't send their best and the brightest. They sent people who didn't have any goddamn money.
Right.
That's what America's about, though.
Right.
We talked about this.
So I mean, I don't feel any
Yeah.
better.
What else you got, Ev?
Last one, we got Ray Rice trying to sign with some teams.
Are teams interested in him?
It looks like it. No team has come out and officially taken a practice or anything with him.
It's gonna take one, and they'll all jump on board. So, Greg, do you know what's going on with Ray Rice? Since you don't watch sports,
Ray
He's
Rice
the guy who
apparently
threw the
got
left
very
hook.
angry. He got very angry at his girlfriend.
There you go.
What did she do?
She spit in his face.
That's why he did it?
Yes,
And she hit him, didn't she?
she spit in his face and she pushed him. And
Have
then
you ever hit a girl?
Never, not
Because there
once.
was a report on Real Sports this week about MMA guys
I
and
saw that.
the incidents of them abusing their girlfriends.
I saw
and wives.
that.
That was really
tough to watch.
tough to watch.
But they took dumbasses from the sport. Horrible examples.
Well, the numbers aren't as bad as they led you to believe. In the end, they said that whatever percentage of MMA fighters that abuse their girlfriends isn't that much higher than the national average.
Well,
and we're working on our average.
It's the highest out of any professional sport, though.
Is it?
Yeah, but you got to be careful with statistics too. I don't know how they looked at those stats. As in, is it all people
Well,
who
they
do
skew
MMA,
them.
or is it?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's skewed, so it's anyone who took a professional MMA fight and has a domestic.
They also
violence
showcased two very, very extreme cases. Christy Mack, that interview she gave was fucking
with War Machine.
Whoa, yeah.
I'm a Christy Mack
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Right.
I
How
celebrate.
terrifying must that have been for her and for
Just the
the-
phone call.
The phone call, bro. I mean,
Oh
my heart
God.
sank when I heard that phone call.
Because that just kept going.
So they took Christy Mack and War Machine. War Machine was even a good fighter. Then they took Mayhem Miller, who's a buddy of mine, but he's fallen on hard times. So you interview a guy like that. That's like talking about the NFL and their bad issues and taking Aaron Hernandez and O.J. Simpson.
Right.
That's what it's like. Is that
Right.
fair? No.
Yeah.
No.
So it paints MMA
It's
in this horrible
sensationalist.
light.
Yeah,
rather
no,
But so-
Mayhem is really, he did not come off well in that interview. He hangs out at the comedy club
Yeah,
sometimes.
for sure. He's a good guy. You
Really
know,
seems like a
good
Mayhem's
guy.
thing is he just needs love, man.
Yeah,
That's
but
all he
I'll tell you
needs.
what, I've looked into his eyes and I've averted my gaze. There's some fucking Jello voodoo shit going on in those eyeballs.
Well, Jason's a good guy, man. I just think he's probably
I
got
think he's lost.
or troubled. He may have a
Did I just
bipolar issue or
insult
something
Mayhem
like that.
on the radio?
He did. He did.
No, I didn't. I did. I've always liked him, man.
I like him a lot.
So with Ray Rice, though, knocking his girlfriend out with a left hook and with domestic violence being the forefront of the NFL, he's still he's a damn good player. That's the thing. If
Damn
he's
right
just
he
a
is.
normal dude, see ya. No teams are like, not a fucking.
He's
shot.
valuable. He's
The
valuable.
Denver Broncos sign that guy. We going Super Bowl, son. We going Sizzla. We going
So
Sizzla
let me ask
for
you
sure.
this: Is he? You know football well, and you know how this business works. Is he going to be signed? He's too valuable to
I
let
bet he
sit,
gets
right?
signed. I bet he gets signed.
Because
Really?
you don't
I
get
bet-
running
so
backs
I
like
bet-
that.
No, I mean, granted, he's 30, and that's kind of the slope goes down. But I think someone's going to take a chance.
There was
on
a girl, Christine Szynski, in my town, and everybody knew she had chlamydia, but guys would still fuck her.
Fuck yes! Don't
Oh,
be
yeah.
a
I'm
baby.
not
Just
scared.
take a
Don't be
pill. you
scared.
fucking
It's a simple
bitch.
shot.
It's a trade-off.
What?
It's the Ray
Oh no,
Rice
she's got
situation.
chlamydia.
I mean,
Shut up.
even AIDS, huh?
Yeah,
We'll
right.
figure it out. Look at Magic
Yeah.
Johnson.
Well, if it's AIDS, you just do it anally.
That's a good point too, man.
Hey, man.
I've seen Dallas Buyers Club. It worked out for those guys.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. What else you got,
Yeah.
Ev? Is that it?
That's a wrap on the events.
Okay, what do you got? Anything for us?
All right, give us a creep line.
It's pretty good.
So creep line instead of love line, it's a creep line. So Kay gets a lot of creepy stories from guys or situations that guys have done. So instead of love line, it's super creepy.
And they
stories.
call you?
They DM my Instagram or the
Okay.
Or email her dick pics.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I know, it's
And
creepy.
See, in any other, if we were not in the entertainment business, that is a huge lawsuit waiting to happen.
It's assault, brother.
You have an employee that
assault.
you're sending dick pics to.
Well, she asked for it though. Let's not. We run a
Still,
fine line here
it's-
at Fox.
but I'm just saying.
She asked for the dick pic.
We walk a fine line.
We
Right.
run a fine line.
Is there a line that would be crossed that you would they would sue a sexual harassment claim against this entity?
No, I mean,
unless something
unless
happened?
they're in person and like they do something to me, but like weird pictures, like I could just delete it and act like
Right.
it
But
didn't happen.
Kay knows if someone was creepy in person, she could put up the big brown bat signal. I'd come out there and slap the
Yeah.
shit out of someone.
You have
So
sexy
no one messes
feet,
with
by
her.
the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're sexually harassing her.
Thank you.
Well, that'd be sexual harassment.
I was just
Greg.
trying to think of the creepiest thing I could say.
I had a creep line of someone in person actually telling me they wanted to put peanut butter on my toes.
Really?
Yeah.
Now the creepiest thing you can say is to go, you have just a beautiful head. Like that's a serial killer.
What size?
I
is
love
your
your
head?
head. What
You
size
have
is your head?
dimensions. You have dimensions on your jaw.
People always say I have nice eyebrows, but I don't. I mean,
You got
that's
some
not
solid
creepy.
eyebrows.
Do you manicure them?
Yeah.
You
You're
do.
a pretty girl, man.
So what are you, Albanian or something?
I'm Norwegian and Mexican.
Wow.
That's
Greg,
a good combo.
Polar
Greg,
opposites.
Yeah, can you guess what kind of guys she's into?
Black.
That's a solid guess.
That's a solid
Why?
guess,
You're-
and
You're
she
off,
should
though.
be.
Why
You're
is
off
that-
though. You're off.
Because you
It's
see,
like the complete opposite of black.
oh, you're into Asian guys?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Nobody's into Asian
Even
guys.
Asian girls aren't into Asian
Right.
guys. How weird is it?
What is it? The education or the good hygiene?
That's
Or is
so
it
I mean,
math?
it's like they should
Is
be
it
the
math?
most sought after
My buddy
guys.
Steve Byrne, who's Korean and Irish, is like Asian girls are into black guys, they're into white guys, they're just not into they're into Latin guys. They're just the only guys not into are Asian guys.
Right. No, it's like you put it on paper and you've got highly educated, non-drinking, non-wife abusing guys that will fucking revere you, and yet chicks not interested.
You know why, bro?
Why? Porn?
Yeah.
Dick size.
But that's
Is
probably
that
a
a
myth.
ledge,
It's
though?
not. It's not.
Easy killer.
Easy, yeah. Yeah, man.
He just got about as charged up as Bryan did talking about Lenny
Gee
Kravitz.
whiz. It's not.
Hey, no.
It's not.
Hey, no. Damn small dicks, bro.
He said it's
Hey,
not.
man. Whoa.
He pulls his phone out. You check these out.
I get my share of dick pics. No, they did a whole theory on who has the biggest dicks, and they did statistics, stuff like that. And Asian was the smallest. The biggest was
Greek.
American
right?
Indian
Greek.
or Greek, yeah.
But how do you know the because the thing about a dick
a
pic
Greek
is
guy did do this.
you need
article.
context.
Yeah, a
like
Greek
you need,
guy did this.
A Greek guy did
survey.
the article.
Oh, okay.
It was me.
But you need something to compare the dick to, whether it's a ruler or maybe there should just be a black dick in the picture with the Asian dick or the white dick, so you can see whether it's
True.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a difference. Like, there's Chinese, that's such a huge country. They're all over the map, and there's all different kinds of looking. And then you have Japanese, you have Korean, you have Filipino. Is that considered Asian?
Well, they're saying that area, Asia in general, had the on average. I'm sure there's some Japanese dude walking out with just an iguana dick hanging down to his ankles like
Why
a
do you say
sushi roll.
iguana? By the way, I wanted to talk
don't
to you
know.
about this.
Weird choice.
Iguana
Weird.
is it's basically
It's a thick lizard.
It's
bro.
not that thick.
A iguana.
It's got a long, thin
his
tail.
tail. Are you talking about his tail
And they
being
changed
like
No,
colors.
I'm talking like a thick iguana.
Can you just
bro.
say boa? Why don't you say boa
no,
or
no, 'cause
python?
iguana is like a
But-
thick.
but
I
a
used to have
boa.
pet
got
iguana.
spikes on its back? That
Yeah,
would hurt.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but I don't. Well, you iguana is a terrible. I've been meaning to talk to you. I
No,
woke
it's
up
a
last
thick
night in the
iguana.
middle of the night, and
A
I was like,
thick iguana.
I'm going to talk to him about his terrible metaphor.
My dick references?
Yeah, I don't like
An
iguana.
iguana. A thick iguana.
It's just a fucking lizard with lots of spikes.
Nah, have you never? I see. I had a pet iguana when I was a kid. When you hold that thing, it's
Yeah.
dense. Man.
Okay,
How
like,
about
so
a-
you
how
like
about
holding
again?
the
How about,
iguana.
Yeah.
how about a thick boa?
That's stupid. That's too easy. Oh, it's like an elephant trunk. That's boring.
Yeah,
A thick iguana. People are gonna remember that.
Right.
I don't think so. It hasn't caught on.
Well, it really has.
Hadn't caught on. You woke up thinking
Yeah,
about
you
it.
thought about it at midnight.
Yeah, but it was. I was
And
like,
that's weird. You're thinking about dicks at
That
midnight.
is weird.
like you're not very good at metaphors. My buddy's the same way. He's like, she was as fat as a rock. And I was like,
Well,
that's a dumb metaphor. I was like, you're not good with metaphors.
Right.
Sorry.
anyways, go on, Kay. Give us your creep line.
All right. So this guy, his friend, used to date a woman on one condition: the condition that they like thick Greek-style yogurt. His fridge always was full with it. He then told us that
I like a Greek yogurt.
that he would put coats on their body with the yogurt with different flavors on different areas. Black cherry was his favorite. His go-to area was the thigh, or he liked to call it the feeding area.
So he just covers girls in Greek yogurt.
Yeah, I'm not into food. And
Yeah, that's weird.
It seems like we've all tried whipped cream or chocolate syrup because you've seen it, so you're
The
supposed
movies.
to try it.
Yeah.
And then you're like 3 licks in, and you're like,
It's
"Hey,
a
can
mess.
we just get a sponge and fuck?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? And then my thing, what do you lay down
Just get a
plastic?
sponge
Because you
and
can't have
fuck.
Greek yogurt all over
Yeah,
your nice
it's
sheets
messy
and
Right.
shit.
it's sticky, and
So then it
I'm
looks
not
like
into that.
Dexter in there and shit. You
Right.
got plastic
honey
everywhere.
and chocolate
Yeah.
syrup. Go
Oh, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not that guy.
I'm not
There's
either,
no
man.
rose petals and chocolate syrup. How about I
Yeah.
just get this iguana out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, man, don't say iguana.
Let's go to fan questions. What do you got, Ed?
Fan questions. Fan
I look at
questions.
you guys with your little segments.
Yeah,
Right?
we're segments. We're
Do you
cute.
have meetings or you think of segments?
Not really.
No,
we
you're
thought
looking at the guy that does all of it.
we came up with we came up
He
with
just
drop.
shows up. You're looking at the guy that does all
I
this.
came up with a drop in knowledge with a kid.
He's wearing a tie. He's got
I
segments.
came from a meeting.
Taking this very
Came
seriously.
from this meeting.
Came from a meeting.
No, it's great. I like it. Do you put little sting music in post, or you just
No, we had some little music in
Got some little
post.
music.
Yeah.
You put in,
we?
that's
I
nice.
don't. Yeah.
We do some
I don't-
stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
We got some stuff around here.
Yeah.
All right, first
not-
fan
It's
question.
not Greg Fitzsimmons thing.
First fan question comes from Jerry Michael. Greg is known to have a serious piece on him. Does he have you two beat?
Is that true? Do you have a piece on you?
Yeah, it's pretty well documented.
Is it better than Rogan's?
Rogan's got a
I've never
piece.
compared.
You were his roommate. You never saw his dick. It's the first thing I do with my roommate.
Have I seen his dick? I don't know. It doesn't stick in my head.
Are you packing?
Yeah, I dated a few comedians, and then they sort of let loose. One of them couldn't have sex with me.
Oh wow!
Wait,
too
hold
big.
You got a
on.
thickie.
And so then
Let's
Colin
stop
Quinn heard about
everything.
it. So I'm backstage at Tough Cry for Colin Quinn, and he goes, "All right, so what is this? What is this bullshit rumor? This is fucking." So I whip it out, and his assistant was there, and a bunch of people were there, and he went, "All right, mark that one out."
Oh wow!
Now let's hold on. Who was the comic that couldn't have sex?
I
with you?
can't talk
Okay.
about that.
Now
Judy Gold.
that's a lie, but I love it. I fucking love it. Now, what are we talking about? You got some serious girth and
Now is it
length?
thick and long?
I think it's balanced. It's got a nice Roman balance to it.
A Roman balance.
Something you'd
good.
see on a statue.
All right. Well, usually statues have they're really small because the
have big
Romans thought it
balls.
was
Or a lot of them
vulgar.
got chipped off over the years.
But you
At
might
least
be
have,
like
like,
you
big
might be like
balls.
the god Pan, the forest god, where you
Right.
see him with the hindquarters of a goat and just
Yeah.
an impossible
Huge
Shiva-like
god.
lingam.
Right.
Man, that's impressive. Good for you, man.
Yeah, there's a book about Pan, by the way. Did you
Pan or
you-
Pam?
Pan. It's called
Pan,
Jitterbug Perfume. You ever read
Pan
that book?
or Pam?
I know the book, not
By-
read it.
Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. Who's
yeah,
that writer?
same writer. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
book.
Pan was
It's
the
fucking
god.
great.
Pam,
is the most
P-A-M?
interesting.
P-A-N.
Pan. He's the god
Like-
of.
Wait. I think
think I can help with this
No, I
Pan
think I can
Pam
help
dilemma.
with this whole
Like
Pan
Peter
Pam
Pan.
thing.
Like Peter Pan.
Yeah, Peter Pan was a Pan.
Pan?
Pam.
No.
Pan.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
He's the party god. He's the god of sex
Oh,
and
yes.
debauchery and
He
chaos.
would have sex with de-virginized nymphs and women that
Yeah.
in the forest.
Gotcha.
Right.
And he's always depicted as having an impossible rod.
Yeah.
Well past his
And he's
belly
a-
button.
he's
Mine's
Greek
not
god?
like mine's not
Yeah.
like that. I mean, I'm,
with a Chiquita-like bend to it. I
Right.
mean, a real banana bend.
Yeah.
Kita.
Yeah. Now so the girl couldn't have sex with you.
could
That must have been a bummer.
well in a victory.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet.
100%.
Yeah.
Why you couldn't get it all the way in?
It would go in, but there was
Discomfort.
There was discomfort.
She had a tiny little.
Well,
Guess so. I mean, it's a compliment for her also.
Yeah.
I mean, any girl that can fit it in, I consider a whore.
makes sense.
That's my whore test.
You
That's my whole
judge.
test.
You judging me. Well, you've been around, huh? All of it?
You do this a lot, huh? You do this a lot. You just took this thing
You took the
down.
whole thing down without.
Next
first
question,
try?
Evs. We'll get off dicks.
Did you just say more? What are you going to take your dentures out?
This
Funny on
one's
two
from-
levels. She's really old, and
And my cock's in her throat.
that's what you call fucking comedy, you fucks. You're welcome from Boston, you motherfuckers.
I'll be selling my CD. You better buy the fucking thing.
Buy the fucking CD if you like to laugh, you shits.
Drink a lot and drive fast, you fucks.
Greg Fitzsimmons, hey, everybody, stay fucking white and come back anytime, all right? Greg Fitzsimmons, one night only. Enjoy your fruit compo. It's fucking free. I'm just kidding. It's fucking going to cost you some money.
We got an empty 8-top. Tell your fucking friends to come out next time.
Yeah, you cheap fucks. Tip your waist out or I'll kick you in the fucking eye.
And we got a late show coming in. Get the fuck out.
Get out.
Or they just start cranking like Susie and the Banshees, like some horrible fucking music.
Your city lies in dust. Really loud. People are like, I can't hear you. Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Just go.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, this is from. That's a hell of a name. Greyhole69.
Oof.
This one's for you, Greg.
Yeah.
When did you realize you couldn't drink and you had to get sober?
It was actually at Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston. At the club we may have just been doing an impression of moments earlier. It was there used to be a show. I tried to quit drinking for a little while, and I was having trouble. And it really came down to I'd found comedy, and it was like the one thing I really felt like I was good at my entire life. I'd never been a good student or an athlete or whatever. And so I was there was a show called, and I'm not making this up, Tits for Tots in Boston at Nick's Comedy Stop. Every Christmas in December, they would get all the local strippers and prostitutes to come into Nick's for a noontime show where the comics would perform and the strippers would walk around topless with hats and raise money for the children's
It's a
hospital.
brilliant idea.
Tits for Tots.
Fucking great idea.
So
gotta
it's
do a
all
Fire and
union
Kid thing
guys
with
from Southie. Fucking shut the fuck up. Bring up Sweeney, you faggot. And so I go up there and I'm drinking with these guys I played hockey with. I'm sitting there drinking pitchers of beer and I get drunk and I go on stage and I tank. And I mean, I'm forgetting jokes and I got off stage and the guys I was sitting with were like looking away from me. And and I just went home and I was so embarrassed and disgusted that I never had a drop of alcohol again after
Wow,
that.
good
Yeah,
for you.
it takes that kind
That
of
was a blessing.
humiliation. Yeah.
Well, because also in Boston, you had to drive to your gigs, and you were going to Vermont one night, Rhode Island the next night. So if you didn't have a driver's license, you were not going to become a comedian.
Yeah.
And I had already gotten a DWI, and I was like, all right, this is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll do
Miss it. I miss it.
Do
Yeah,
you?
there's nothing like a cold brew.
Oh, tell me about
You
it.
could drink, huh?
I enjoyed it. I like Jameson's and just any kind of shit
Whiskey
beer.
guy, huh?
Yeah, I like some whiskey.
Yeah.
I wish I had a drink of choice.
I'm not a drinker.
Neither one of us are big
I like a
drinkers.
little wine, though.
Little wine.
I like a little red wine.
Even wine now, I'm like, ooh, I can't sleep well at night.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a bitch. It's like my system gets. You know what happens when you get to be 48 is you get more sensitive. I got to stretch for longer.
Yeah.
I have the same energy and shit, but I'm everything's more. My feet. I gotta. My ankles are sore. I can't drink too much wine. I can't eat too much meat at night.
What about
Kinda
weed?
annoying. I don't smoke any weed. I should.
Yeah,
You
that
smoke
might be
weed?
good. A little bit.
Yeah.
Not
here
a
and
lot.
there.
But like if I do Rogan's podcast, I mean, he lights a joint before it starts, and I feel like it's part of it's like a tribal ceremony.
It's a ritual there.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 3 hours goes by, and you're no longer high, and you drive home.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
I'm gonna start smoking weed.
You've been saying that for 6
Long
months.
time. I know.
Do you occasionally?
No, and I need to. I'm gonna start smoking weed and wearing
A fedora.
a fedora and some suits. I'm gonna start dressing. I'm gonna become, and I'm gonna get some glasses. 'Cause
Yeah.
my eyes are good.
You were gonna wear suits when you do stand up? You mean?
I don't know. I
That
just
would
wanna
be
be, I
physical.
want
You
to
need
be,
to
I
be
want to be a
loose.
gentleman.
Yeah, but you need to be
I
physical
know.
up there.
I know.
What else you got, Ev?
I know.
What are you walking around in? A 40 short?
40 regular.
40 regular?
Yeah.
All right, next one we got is
Call,
from.
though.
She took her shoes off, by
Guys,
the way,
people-
since I mentioned the thing about her
Yeah,
feet.
she did. She saw all these old things, Greg.
These pups.
These little.
Greg, you look a
pups.
lot
That's-
like an Asian man, only he's got a piece on him.
That's right. She's picking away at the cuticles of her toes right now in front of us,
Yeah.
taunting us.
There you go. Just taunting.
Greg's holding his eyes like this, just like.
What's the next rouge item?
Oh, licorice!
Gentlemen, I'm going to have to ask you to refrain from your stereotypical.
I'm just saying.
Regal Zoom.
Wiggle zoom.
Wiggle zoom.
I refuse to laugh.
I'm just saying, Greg would take
At
you to get
least-
some sweet and sour chicken
Yes.
after this if you were into it.
Absolutely.
What, man?
Sirs.
That's not even, that's not even Asian. That's
No.
American stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, next question.
Anywho.
F.
This one's from Flashback Orgasm.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
often does Greg think about the time he saw Natasha Leggero changing before his podcast?
A lot.
Who's that?
Natasha's
She's
a
a comic,
comedian,
funny
actress,
comic.
really, really funny, smart. She's got a new show out. What's it called?
Cutie
Some-
pie too.
Yeah, she killed it on Justin Bieber's
Which one
roast.
is she on
Little
there?
tiny girl.
Little tiny.
Black
Cute
hair.
short hair.
Oh,
Nope.
yeah. She is pretty.
So I was at Largo doing a
She
show
can get around.
6 months ago or something, and she was doing this bit where she was hosting, but she had on a big costume, and then she was doing a costume change backstage, and I was not being creepy, but if you've been backstage at Largo before, right?
Yeah.
The dressing rooms are lined with mirrors, hallway has mirrors, and the next dressing room has mirrors. So I'm sitting there, and she gets naked in the next dressing room, and I bing, bing, bing off the mirrors, and I can see it. And Monagotti, what a
Yeah.
body.
Really?
She's bodied up.
Oh, great ass and legs
Really?
and everything. I was very impressed.
Really?
Damn, Natasha.
Yeah, and I went on stage. She brought me up, and I just talked about her body for about 7 minutes, called it a night.
How old is she?
17.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. What is she?
30s?
30?
Early 30s?
30 years old?
She's a
I
cutie
gotta,
pie.
let's get in touch with Natasha. Do you have her number? I want to get it from
Yeah, as a matter of fact, she is.
Well,
Hey,
no,
man.
we'll have her on the podcast.
Hey, bro.
Shit, dude. She's
Hey.
41.
No.
Good for her.
God,
Seriously?
Yeah, she's a great looking 41-year-old.
Oh, yeah. She's a doll.
Let's call
Nothing
her.
wrong with a little experience.
Call her right now on the podcast. Let's get her on the podcast.
This could go horribly wrong.
No, I won't. Watch this. She's great. Natasha Leggero.
She's super funny, too. Dating a comic. A very funny comic.
Who?
What's his name?
Hello.
Hello, sexy.
How's it going?
Well, I'm on a podcast right now. Are you okay talking to me?
Oh, are you? Is this like you're hijacking me?
Well, I'm hijacking you. It's Fighter and the Kid. You know Bryan Callen, right?
Yeah, does she know me?
Yes. Hi, Ron.
Wait, what do you mean?
Hi,
does she know
Natasha.
me?
I love you.
What?
No.
How you doing, darling? I haven't seen you in a while.
They want you on the podcast, and I said I'd put in a call.
We didn't know literally he was going to do it right now, but yeah.
What's your podcast, dude?
The Fighter and the Kid, 2.5 million downloads in July. Don't kid yourself. So come
Wait,
on.
but what is it? What's your hit? What's your hook?
Nothing. We'll just talk and have fun and be funny. And I know how funny you are. So when we need women. We need a funny woman.
They try to do a lot of segments, like they'll go, and now it's time for the news about feet, or whatever.
Well, feet?
about.
Well, no, we're not selling this, Greg.
Well, somebody just wrote in and they asked me on the air through a Twitter or something if I still think a lot about seeing you nude in the dressing room next to me in Largo, and I had to admit that I do.
I mean,
Stop it.
Natasha, you've always been a hottie, but I didn't realize that he said your body's ridiculous, which makes
Oh my
sense.
God, you guys, seriously.
I'm
You
sorry. I
need to get
apologize.
more-
My
you need to
friend-
get
my-
more ladies on the podcast so we can objectify them.
Yeah.
Well, we want you on.
This is why they would never come on.
Well, I want you on the podcast. I'm older. I've been around longer, and I'm pulling seniority and rank on you. When can you do it?
Dude, I will come on your podcast, okay?
We'll figure it out, yeah.
All right, done.
All right, and you're
Greg,
coming.
I'm gonna come do yours too.
Right, we're gonna line it up, and then do you want to plug your show real quick while you're on the show?
Another period on Tuesdays on Comedy Central.
All right.
Boom.
It's fantastic. I saw one episode, and I'm very proud of you.
I'll send you guys both links so you don't have to watch it on TV like the.
Yeah.
All right, done. And then we'll bring you on, and we'll promote it.
All right.
All right, sister. We'll see you
Love
soon.
you guys. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Ciao.
It's kind of 3-ring pickups I get from A-listers in Hollywood.
She is a funny. She's
Boom.
one of those
Funny.
few female comics that cracks me up.
You
Oh,
say
yeah.
that about every female comic
No, I
we've ever
don't.
talked about.
Whitney Cummings. I like Natasha Leggero,
Is
and
that-
I like Eliza Schlesinger.
Just did a set with
and
Morgan
Sarah.
Murphy last night. She was very funny.
Very funny. Another one. Writes on Conan. Sorry.
Kathleen
They're all
Madigan, Wendy Liebman,
No,
You
dude.
say that about every
No,
single girl we talk
very
about.
few. Chelsea Peretti's very funny.
Chelsea Peretti's very funny.
Every single girl. Dude, there's very few women I think are funny.
Well, I can only name 5 or 6 actually.
Amy Schumer?
I think Amy's funny. I haven't seen enough of Amy, but
Oh, Amy is
funny.
as
Killer.
good as anybody out there.
That's what I was
right
telling
now.
the
Yeah,
kid.
she's
I have
killer.
no doubt.
I have a crush on her. I'm not
She's a
gonna lie
great
to you.
person.
It is sad though. She pointed out something. We objectified her, and like you saying that you have a crush on her too. Like that, we always intermingle funny women with looks, whereas with men, I don't think women ever say anything about the man physically. It's just whether
Is it
he's
because
funny.
most comedians? I don't think most comedians are like, hotties.
Hey, look to your right.
Well, not anymore.
Hey, now.
Rogan and I were talking about this on the plane. We were like, we're at an age now, like if a girl were to ever hook up with a guy our age, she wouldn't tell her friends. And if she did, they'd be like, how old is he? And the girl would be, he's
Lie.
48. And all her friends would go, ew.
Ew.
And then she'd have to go, I know, but he doesn't look 48 like
Yeah,
he's.
for sure.
But I mean, that's what happens.
I know.
And I've noticed it. Like
Yeah.
I'm at an age now where when I was in my 30s, girls liked me. I would come
Yeah.
off stage and I got a lot of attention. At 48, it's just different.
In
They-
San
they
Francisco,
look
you
at
were like
different.
it was like people thought it was Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
They didn't even look at you.
I was on stage
No,
last
they didn't look
night,
at me.
and there
Not
was a
around
hottie
you.
in the front row, and I started asking her sexual type questions, and then I go, "How old's your dad, by the way?" And she said 46, and I went, "Oh, he's younger than me."
There you
Let's
go.
wrap this fucking conversation.
That's what happened.
It is weird though with female comedians. If they're too hot, it's almost a distraction, right?
I don't know. I think it's how they own it. Like I think Eliza plays it down. If you've
She
seen
always
her
plays it
dressed
down.
up, she can look
She's-
beautiful.
yeah, she's a
She goes
super
on
hot.
stage and she just wears jeans and
and
a
a
t-shirt and sneakers.
Ponytail.
Sarah Silverman's the same way, but then you see Sarah dressed up and she's beautiful. So I think maybe whereas with
Whitney Cummings
Amy
too.
Schumer, she wears dresses on
Yeah.
stage and skirts.
Yeah.
So I think it's how you feel about your own appearance. I think if you feel comfortable with it on stage, I would imagine guys would.
Well, I think like Eliza, Whitney. Who else did you mention? Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman.
I think they dress down because it's a distraction. Because if they dressed up and they're like these smoke shows telling jokes, I don't think people are gonna find them as funny.
But what about men? What do you think if a guy looks good, like an Anthony Jeselnik who goes on in a sharp suit? Do you think that's distracting for women?
I think it's distracting for everybody.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Been in show business how long?
Jesus.
Yeah,
It's my
right. You
nephew's
see what I
birthday.
deal with?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, with
Cool
guys
ring,
though, I
though.
think it's distracting. Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone, guys and girls. Like if a
Yeah,
guy goes up
because-
there in a 3-piece suit and a top hat, and he's telling jokes. I'm like, all right, look at this schmuck.
Yeah. Well, it's
Like
almost
it's like just
I
wear a t-shirt and jeans and let your funny show.
Well, I think it's also that people laugh at people that have suffered a little bit, and that you want to look your worst so that you're the most like, pitiable. You want to. If you're fat and you walk on stage, you have a 1,000% better chance of getting
100%.
laughs.
I agree. like if
Right? It's true.
if Chris Hemsworth decided to be a comedian, people aren't gonna buy into it. Like say he wasn't the funny actor, or say he wasn't the great actor. Say he just went into comedy. He's chiseled like a god.
Yeah.
So he gets on stage. People are like, look at this. They hate him already.
Imagine Lenny Kravitz trying to get a laugh out of Bryan Callen. I mean,
There you go.
it's impossible.
There you go. There you
We
go.
just sit like a dog, transfixed.
That's right. Just like a damn
What else you
dog.
got, Ev?
All right, we'll do one more. This is from Martin Riggs. It's a good Lethal Weapon reference name there. The question is, I have a good dilemma I'm sure others deal with too. I'm in my mid-20s, stuck between two choices. Should I put my head down and go after my goals, which we know takes time or takes years but is worth it, or travel the world for a while to learn more because now's the time and I'm not tied down to anything?
Callen.
I think that travel is a very good idea because it gives you perspective on how other people live. But I would also say that sometimes just changing your geography doesn't necessarily teach you more.
You're still gonna have the same problems.
Well,
when
you're
you get
talking about
back.
traveling versus relocating, though.
Yeah,
I
but
think he's talking
traveling-
about traveling.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
traveling's good. Just travel in an educated way. Like do a little reading about the place you're at.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, and go to places that you wouldn't normally go to. That's what I
We
would
could do both, right? Like you don't need to travel around
Yeah.
for years. Once you travel around for 2 months and then come back and get serious and pursue your goals.
I think it depends on the personality of the person. If you like, I knew I wanted to do comedy from a very young age, and so there was no. I took a year off between high school and college, and I saved some money. I went to Europe with a backpack for 6 months. Changed my life.
Really?
I would recommend that for any fucking kid, unless you're burning to get your.
I wish
you
I did
want to be
that.
a doctor. You know, or you're playing sports maybe,
Yeah, I
and it's
know.
like you got to do it.
Yeah, I wish I did
But
that,
if
though.
you can squeeze out that year,
Just Paris and
That's
Rome.
the time to
just
do
going
it.
to Paris and Rome.
Right.
Just going to Italy and France.
yeah,
Really?
And Spain.
And Spain.
God
Never
damn
been.
it.
Yeah, go to Barcelona for
I
about
can't
a
believe
month.
we have.
Sounds nice.
That's what we have to do.
Yeah, you say that all the time. Nothing ever happens. you know?
I have contacts. We can go there. There's nothing like that.
I have contacts with Europe.
I have contacts with Italy.
I'm friends with the president of Europe, and he can take us around.
What else you got, Ev?
I have contacts.
Is that it?
Yep, let's wrap.
All right, Greg, where can they find you, man? You're a beast. You're the best. We appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Well, Fitzdog Radio is the podcast. Comes out twice a week. We just had
iTunes?
Judd Apatow on and
Ooh.
Corolla. iTunes and all that, and then fitzdog.com. And then I have, can I mention a couple dates?
For
You
sure,
want?
man.
Don't be
Let's
overstaying
do
my,
this.
Go
No.
see him. If you don't go see him, you're out of your mind.
He's one of the best in the biz.
Yeah,
Thank
truly.
you. Well, San Diego, I'm coming out to see you guys on August 20 through 22 at the American Comedy Company. Then the Ventura Bay Comedy Club, Wednesday, August 26th. And then watch out, Boston. Laugh Boston on
yeah. Good
September
club.
24th
The old
through
stomping
26th.
grounds.
That's it. So tickets at fitzdog.com. Thank you,
There
guys.
it is, guys.
been a
Greg
blast.
Fitzsimmons, you're a beast, as always.
We appreciate, man.
Appreciate you.
This is the Fire and the Kid. We're out.